My beloved child, stop. Yes, right there. Stop in your tracks. Whatever was pressing on your mind just now, whatever thought tried to claim your attention even as you began reading these words, release it. Let it go. Let it fall to the ground. Because this moment is not random, not fleeting, not insignificant. It is eternal. I orchestrated this exact breath in your timeline so I could lean close, whisper with undeniable clarity, and mark your heart with something sacred. You didn't stumble here by accident. You didn't click into this space by chance. You've been drawn by my spirit, led by unseen threads of divine orchestration, guided gently through the swirl of everyday life to this one holy second. And now that you're here, now that your spirit is beginning to tune itself toward me, I need you to listen, not just with your ears, but with the entirety of who you are. Listen with your soul. Listen with your ache. Listen with your questions and your hunger and your half-formed prayers. Because I have come not just to soothe, but to speak. Not just to comfort, but to call you higher. I have come to make known what was hidden, to break silence with significance, and to open a door that cannot be closed. This is not a whisper meant for the crowd. This is a word reserved for you. Singular. Personal. Divine. You have been aching for me to show up in a way that leaves no doubt. Well, here I am. Not distant. Not distracted. Present. And nearer than your breath. And I am not merely watching from afar. I am leaning in with the full weight of my attention, my love, my intention. Heaven has quieted around you. The angels are listening in. Time itself has paused, not in the natural realm, but in the spirit, so this divine appointment may unfold in fullness. You feel the shift, the tremble beneath your skin. That's not nerves. That's me. That's my spirit awakening yours to the reality that something eternal is being spoken right now. I didn't gather you here to repeat what you've already heard. I came to cut through the noise of this world, the weariness of your days, and the doubt clouding your heart. This isn't just a message. This is a meeting, a visitation, a moment inscribed in the archives of heaven. I have been waiting to say this to you, not when you got stronger, not when you figured everything out, but now, as you are, where you are. Because I'm not after your perfection. I'm after your presence. So listen, child. Listen like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, the life you're about to walk into truly does. My precious one, listen. What you've been calling confusion is actually holy activation. That restless stirring in your chest, the dissonance you feel between what your eyes see and what your soul senses, it's not chaos. It's my spirit interrupting your ordinary with the sound of destiny. You spent nights trying to name it, days trying to suppress it, moments trying to push it back beneath routine and logic. But you can shake it, can you? That internal press, that invisible weight, that aching awareness that something more is calling you. That's me. That's always been me. I've been brushing up against the edges of your awareness, tugging gently on the threads of your attention, dropping signs like breadcrumbs through your days, not to confuse you, but to awaken you. You thought you were spiraling in uncertainty, but what's really happening is revelation. Your spirit has started to hear my footsteps again. You felt the temperature change in the atmosphere around your life. That wasn't fear. That was me drawing near. You see, child, when I begin to move in your life in new ways, it won't always look like peace first. Sometimes it looks like pressure. Sometimes it feels like discomfort. But it's the holy discomfort that precedes deliverance. It's the divine dissonance that comes when I'm pulling you out of the shallow into the deep. So don't panic in the unease. Don't mislabel my movement. The shaking is not a sign of danger. It's a sign of divine disturbance. I'm disrupting the patterns that no longer serve your purpose. I'm rattling the foundations that were built on survival instead of surrender. I'm awakening places in you that you thought had died. And I know it feels unfamiliar. I know you're tempted to call it confusion. But remember this: confusion brings disconnection. My stirring brings confrontation. Of truth, of calling, of timing. I'm not confusing you. I'm confronting everything that tried to convince you that you were ordinary, forgotten, misplaced. I'm resurrecting the dreams you buried in disappointment. I'm reviving the vision that fear tried to kill. I'm restoring the sensitivity of your spirit. And I'm doing it so personally, so precisely, so profoundly that no one else around you may even see it happening. But you feel it, don't you? Deep beneath your skin, in the marrow of your soul, you feel the shift. The reason the world feels louder and your peace feels thinner is because I'm tuning your ears to my frequency again. The urgency you feel is divine, not delusion. That's why you've become less satisfied with surface-level answers. That's why the things that used to bring you comfort now feel strangely hollow. That's not regression. That's refinement. That's the holy hunger I've planted in you, growing too large to be filled by anything less than me. And this hunger, this tension, it is sacred. It's the place where transformation begins. So instead of running from the stirring, run into it. Ask me what I'm saying. Ask me why I won't let you rest the same way anymore. Because when I stir, I always reveal. When I unsettle, I always unveil. This isn't just a feeling. It's a summons. I'm stirring the surface because it's time to unearth the gold I buried inside of you long before you were born. And beloved, why I'm stirring isn't just to awaken something new. It's to restore what has always been true about you, even when you forgot. Let me be unmistakably clear, you are not lost. You are being located. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt from a deeper blueprint. That fire inside you that flickers and flares, that won't be silenced no matter how tired you feel. That is me. That is the evidence of divine pursuit. You don't need to silence the stirring. You need to sit in it. Let it speak. Let it pull you. Let it call you back to your original design. And remember, I'm not done yet. This is only the beginning of a holy unraveling that will lead to sacred rebuilding. You're us the stirring. It's not confusion. It's calling. It's confirmation. It's me. Beloved, lean closer. I'm not offering sympathy. I'm offering sight. You have waited long enough for someone to see you, to hear the silent ache behind your polite smiles, to notice the tears you wiped before anyone could ask what was wrong. You sat in rooms full of people and still felt invisible. You've waited for someone to ask the right question, to sense what you couldn't say out loud, to catch the flicker of fading hope behind your eyes. But I saw it all. I was there in every invisible moment. And child, I didn't just observe, I wept with you. I stood with you when no one else noticed you were breaking. I listened when you whispered into your pillow, "Does anyone see me?" Yes, I did. I do. I always will. But now, listen carefully. This isn't about being seen anymore. It's about being called. You thought you were waiting to be rescued, but what you were really waiting for was this revelation. Not just an answer to your pain, but an awakening of your purpose. I'm not coming with explanations that pacify your mind. I'm coming with revelation that ignites your spirit. There is a reason your deliverance was delayed. because I wasn't just planning to lift your burden. I was preparing to unlock your blueprint. You asked me why, and I've stored that question in my heart. But today I answer not with reasons, but with revelation. I let you wait so the right things could find you. Not shallow things, not temporary comforts, but destiny. Divine, exact, irrevocable destiny. The kind that won't be shaken by applause or absence. The kind that grows in the dark and blooms in silence. You were waiting for validation, but what I'm giving you is vindication. The people who overlooked you weren't permitted to see your value because I was hiding it under layers of refinement. They weren't rejecting you. They were being used to redirect you. You thought you were standing still, but I was moving heaven around your yes. I was orchestrating conversations you weren't part of, opening doors you didn't know existed, releasing provision for a future you couldn't yet imagine. While you felt stuck, I was setting the stage. And now, the curtain is about to rise. Not on who they think you are, but on who I know you are. You've waited for man to announce you, but I'm about to do it myself. Heaven is about to testify. Earth is about to witness. So don't wait another moment wondering if this message is for you. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. You are the living proof that silent obedience echoes louder in heaven than loud performance on earth. You passed the test others didn't even see you take. And because of that, I'm revealing what was once hidden. I'm not just answering your questions. I'm handing you keys. Keys to insight. Keys to instruction. Keys to the rooms that were locked until now. And those keys don't open average places. They open sacred spaces. You waited for answers, but I've come with revelation. And revelation always opens what explanations can't. My child, this is not just a moment of soothing. It is a moment of strategy. I did not gather you into this sacred space merely to pat your back or calm your fears. I came to download something divine, something weighty, something eternal into your spirit. This is not sentimental fluff. This is a sacred release. You've heard words of encouragement before. You've gathered fragments of peace from sermons and psalms. But what I am speaking now goes beyond reassurance. It is alignment. It is assignment. It is an unveiling meant to recalibrate your path and relight the fire in your belly that life tried to snuff out. So don't just skim these words, child. Eat them. Take them in like bread to your hungry soul, like water to your parched belief. Because what you are sensing isn't fiction, it's fulfillment. Something sacred is indeed shifting. Not around you, within you. And this shift isn't passive. It's not polite. It's piercing, precise, prophetic. Do you know why I'm not whispering today? Because the heavens have marked this as an emergency broadcast. This isn't background noise. This is a heavenly alert with your name etched into its frequency. And the reason you feel that stirring again, the kind that makes your skin tingle and your breath catch, is because I'm awakening what has been lying dormant. I'm unlocking the chambers in your soul that have been sealed off by disappointment and delay. And what I am pouring into you now cannot be heard with casual ears. It must be received with reverence, like Moses before the burning bush, like Samuel saying, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Because, child, the moment you are in now holds a key. A real key. Not metaphorical. Not symbolic. A divine key to unlock the next door in your destiny. A door that has refused to budge because it wasn't time yet. But now, because of this moment, this divine download, that door is trembling at its hinges. It's about to swing open not by effort, but by encounter. I need you to understand something clearly. The enemy tried to convince you this was all in your head. that your faith was fantasy, that your spiritual sensitivity was just emotionalism. But he lied. The same way he lied in Eden, twisting truth to create distrust. But I am truth. And what I'm speaking now is proof that your discernment has been accurate all along. Yes, it's real. Yes, this moment matters. Yes, what you feel rising in you is me. Breathing, speaking, rebuilding. I'm releasing instructions encoded in the language of the Spirit, and only a heart surrendered like yours can decode them. Don't dismiss this. Don't minimize it. This is the very word that your past self was crying out for. You prayed for clarity. Here it is. You begged for confirmation. It's in front of you. You waited for direction. It's being delivered line by line, sealed with the sound of my voice. And you must understand, this download is more than comfort. It's construction. I'm building a new thing in you, and every word I speak is another brick being laid in the architecture of your assignment. You have been hungry for more, not just emotionally, but spiritually. And I have come to answer that hunger, not with crumbs, but with clarity. This moment is the spiritual turning point that generations ahead will point back to and say, that's when the change began. You are being branded with revelation that cannot be revoked. You are receiving strategy that will shake systems. You are being entrusted with blueprints that hell cannot decode. You are being filled, not just for survival, but for significance. This is your divine download, child. And nothing will be the same after this. Beloved, I have never been far from your ache. That subtle whisper in your chest that no one else notices. I've heard it echo in the hallways of heaven like a trumpet blast. The tear you wiped away so quickly that no one saw it fall. I caught it in my hands. Every sigh, every silent scream, every groan too deep for words, I've recorded it all. I am the God who doesn't need volume to respond. I am moved by the weight of what you carry, not the noise you make about it. You thought you were being strong. You thought you had to hold it all together. But I never asked you to be a fortress. I asked you to be mine. And because you are mine, nothing escapes my attention. Not even the ache you've learned to carry like a companion. That ache, the one buried beneath your busyness, is speaking volumes in the spirit. And I heard every word. Let me tell you something holy. I haven't just been watching you. I've been tracking the coordinates of your pain like a GPS system embedded in eternity. Every moment you stood in silence when others were loud in their celebration, I recorded it. Every time you congratulated others while your own prayers remained unanswered, I remembered it. Not one quiet sacrifice hath been overlooked. While others rushed ahead, you knelt. While others posted their blessings, you whispered your grief. And I want you to know that I've been responding, not just emotionally, but eternally. I've been weaving the weight of your private tears into a tapestry of public glory. You don't realize it yet, but the ache you carry has become the altar on which I'm about to build something sacred. The world may have seen your strength, but I've seen your surrender. And that surrender is what has moved me to respond with force. You've been asking if I'm still near, if I still care, if I still remember what you whispered to me in the night seasons when no one else was awake. And the answer is yes, child. I remember all of it. I was there when you clenched your fists and prayed anyway. I was there when you buried hope beneath polite words and tried to convince yourself it didn't matter. I was there when you thought maybe I chose someone else instead. But I never moved. I never changed my mind about you. I never rewrote your promise. I was simply watching the ache mature into worship. I was watching your pain evolve into prayer. And now that your ache has become sacred, I am responding in power. Not with temporary relief, but with irreversible shift. Not with a pat on the head, but with the opening of doors that were sealed with divine locks. So hear me, child. What you thought was silence was documentation. I was writing your pain into my plan. The ache you carry is not a weakness. It's a witness. It's the proof of your endurance, your devotion, your depth. And now I will respond, not to your perfection, but to your posture. I will answer not because you figured it out, but because you refused to walk away. I will move, not just to heal the ache, but to transform it into authority. The same places you bled will become the places you build. The same spaces where you were misunderstood will be the stages I use to reveal my glory through you. So don't hide your tears from me. They are sacred ink in the scroll of your calling. And I promise you, not one of them was wasted. Beloved, you have no idea the magnitude of what you've done. You have no idea how your obedience, quiet, hidden, uncelebrated, has shaken realms. While others ran to the spotlight, you remained faithful in the shadows. While some shouted for recognition, you whispered prayers in secret. And those whispers weren't small to me. They thundered through the chambers of heaven like royal declarations. I want you to understand something that no one else may have told you. Obedience in the unseen is never wasted. It's not overlooked. It's not lost in the shuffle of grander gestures or louder voices. I saw it every time you chose integrity when compromise was easier. I saw the moments you could have taken shortcuts, sought approval, chased platforms, but instead, you stayed. You stayed in prayer. You stayed in posture. You stayed when leaving made more sense. And in doing so, you authored a kind of worship that angels honor. Child, the heavenly realm doesn't weigh worth the way earth does. I do not measure the magnitude of your ministry by applause, metrics, or visibility. I measure it by posture, by the bowed head in private, the surrendered yes that no one heard, the tears that watered seeds others didn't know you planted. That is what touches eternity. That is what moves me. That is what triggers angelic movement. You thought no one saw you, but all of heaven was watching. You thought no one valued your loyalty, but it became the very fragrance that surrounded my throne. Every unnoticed act of kindness, every silent surrender, every internal battle you chose to bring under submission to my will, it all became incense rising before me. You weren't just surviving in the shadows. You were building altars. You were laying down stones of legacy that generations to come will one day walk upon. They may not know your name, but they will walk in the favor your faith unlocked. I want you to know something deeper still. Your loyalty was tested for a reason. Not because I needed to know where you stood. I already knew. But because you needed to see the weight of what you carry. The shadows revealed the shape of your faith. The hidden places forced you to dig deeper than superficial praise. And it was in those quiet trenches that your roots grew wide and deep. Now, child, because you were faithful in obscurity, I am bringing you into fulfillment. Because you chose me without fanfare, I am now about to do something through you that fanfare can't fabricate. Heaven is not responding to performance. Heaven is responding to purity. And your pure devotion, your pure obedience, your pure yes, it has become the key that unlocks doors no one else can walk through. You've reached a realm of favor that doesn't follow formulas. It follows faithfulness. And yours has been proven, not once, but again and again in the crucible of private choices. So prepare yourself. Because what I'm about to release will not look like what others receive. What I'm doing for you isn't based on trends. It's based on trust. You passed the test of the shadows, and now I'm bringing the reward of the secret place into the open. Not to boast, not to parade, but to reveal what it looks like when heaven honors hidden loyalty. And this will be personal. You won't fit the mold. It will feel tailor-made because it is. You earned none of it, but you were trusted with all of it. Because while the world looked elsewhere, you kept your eyes on me. And now the heavens are opening, not just because you prayed, but because you stayed. Draw near to me now, beloved. Not because my voice is faint, but because my words are weighty. I do not need volume to deliver transformation. I need your full attention. This is not a distant call from a reluctant deity. This is the breath of your Creator hovering over the blueprint of your becoming. And I need you to be still, to lean in, to open the deepest parts of your being, because what I am about to speak will realign every definition you've held about your past, your pain, and your purpose. This is not information. This is revelation. It will come like a lightning bolt, burning through the fog that has surrounded your identity. What I'm about to say will not just change how you see me. It will change how you see you. You have lived under labels I never gave you. You've accepted timelines I never authorized. You've internalized lies that have reshaped your decisions and muted your voice. But not anymore. I'm about to redefine what the world misnamed. I'm about to override every title you accepted out of fear, fatigue, or false humility. Lean in, child. Let every muscle in your spirit lean toward me. Because I'm not whispering to soothe. I'm speaking to shift. This next word will not fit into what you thought I would say. It will not align with your expectations. It will go deeper than encouragement. It will awaken the ancient truth I buried in your DNA before time began. And when I speak it, it will tear down strongholds built by false beliefs. It will disarm the shame that has followed you like a shadow. It will dismantle the ceiling you've been living under. This is not surface correction, it's soul restoration. And it requires your full surrender. Listen, child. You've been praying for clarity, but clarity is not the same as comfort. What I speak now may unsettle what you've built. It may contradict what others have told you, but it will also liberate. It will set fire to the lies that made you play small. I didn't anoint you to survive. I anointed you to shift atmospheres. I didn't call you to maintain what culture told you was acceptable. I called you to become a walking contradiction to what the enemy thought he had silenced. I called you to carry power that doesn't look like pride and purity that doesn't look like performance. I called you to operate in dimensions that require deep trust, not shallow understanding. That's why you must lean in, not with your intellect, but with your spirit. Because I'm about to say something that changes the way you move, think, lead, love, and live. From this moment forward, the echo of what I speak will become the new cadence of your walk. You'll begin to think in freedom. You'll move with boldness that doesn't need permission. You'll stop explaining your obedience to people who weren't part of the instruction. You'll stop rehearsing the pain of the past and begin walking in the proof of what was planted in it. I'm not just redefining your situation. I'm redefining you. You're not the weak one. You're not the late one. You're not the forgotten one. You are the chosen, the appointed, the anointed for this exact moment in history. And I need you to know it, not vaguely, but viscerally. That's why I called you here. That's why I said, lean in. Because the revelation I release today will never leave you the same. My beloved, come closer, because I need to untangle a lie that's tried to wrap itself around your soul. You haven't missed me. Not once. I know it felt like I was far. I know you walked through days that felt like deserts and nights that felt like abandonment. I know you questioned your steps, retraced your prayers, asked yourself if maybe you misheard me. But I must tell you, clearly and tenderly, You have not lost your way. You have not wandered out of alignment. What you thought was a mistake was actually a movement. What you interpreted as silence was sacred space, not spiritual distance. My child, I was not absent. I was present in a way your emotions couldn't measure. I was hovering over your steps, guarding the timing, protecting the release. You were walking through preparation, not punishment. I know how heavy silence can feel. I know it tests your trust like nothing else. But the silence wasn't empty. It was full of strategy. It wasn't a void, it was a vault. I was storing things there. Strength, endurance, discernment. Deep wells of faith that had to be dug where there was no applause, no echo, no external affirmation. You see, I don't build warriors in the spotlight. I shape them in secret. And that's what I was doing with you. Every moment you thought I wasn't answering, I was anchoring. Anchoring you deeper into truth, deeper into identity, deeper into me. Because when the fulfillment comes, and it will, it must land on a foundation that can carry it. I wasn't punishing you with delay. I was preserving the destiny I placed inside you. The delay wasn't denial. It was design. And if you could see what I was orchestrating behind the curtain, you would weep not in frustration, but in awe. You haven't missed me because I never moved without you. Even in your confusion, your heart kept reach you. Even when you doubted yourself, you still waited. And that waiting, sacred, aching, obedient waiting, was worship. You honored me in the silence, and I received it like the incense of the saints. Others may have moved faster, louder, more visibly, but you moved in surrender. And that, child, is what attracts my glory. You didn't take matters into your own hands. You didn't manipulate the moment. You sat in the stillness with trembling faith, and I want you to know, I recorded every second of it. Heaven took note of your stillness. And now the moment you were waiting for is not just coming, it's colliding with the very space you once called barren. So let me say this with the full force of my love, you are right where you need to be. You haven't missed the promise. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're being unveiled. And what I'm about to release through you will carry the fragrance of that silence. It will carry the weight of that wilderness. And it will testify, not that you were perfect, but that you were present, that you stayed, that you waited, that you didn't let go when every voice told you it was too late. And now, child, the silence is lifting, and what it has carried will be revealed in power. Beloved, the volume of your world has changed, not by accident, but by intention. I silenced things. I shut doors. I disrupted patterns. I rerouted relationships. Why? Because I needed space to speak. Not space from you, but space for you. Space for your spirit to breathe again. Space for my voice to cut through the static of the culture, the expectations of others, the opinions that were masquerading as truth. I didn't remove those things to isolate you. I removed them to insulate you from distraction, from distortion, from deception. I know how much noise had started to cloud your clarity. So I cleared it. I ordered it. I stripped it away, not as punishment, but as preparation for precision. Because what I am speaking to you now cannot afford to be filtered through the fog of false expectations. I want you to hear me now, clearly, directly, unmistakably. My voice is not weak. My words are not wandering. But for too long, they've had to compete with the clamor of lesser voices. So I did what only I could do. I shut the mouths that were never meant to mentor you. I silenced the opinions that never knew your purpose. I muted the noise that sounded wise but carried no revelation. And in that stillness, in that uncomfortable quiet, I began to speak again. Can you hear me now? There's no mistaking it. This is not emotional fluff or spiritual echo. This is the sound of your God speaking without interference. The atmosphere is clear. The channel is clean. And what I'm releasing into your life is unfiltered fire. It's revelation that carries weight, direction that breaks delay, and truth that realigns every room you enter. You asked me to speak louder, but I didn't need to raise my voice. I needed to lower the volume of what was never from me in the first place. And now that you can hear me, truly hear me, you will begin to realize that clarity isn't always loud. Sometimes it's like thunder wrapped in stillness. Sometimes it's a whisper that rattles kingdoms. That's what I'm doing in you now. I'm restoring the awe of my voice in your life, not as background music, but as your compass. From this moment on, my voice will no longer be just one among many. It will be the one you filter everything else through. It will be the standard, the anger, the authority. You don't need to beg for direction anymore. You're standing in it. Child, I cleared the noise because I'm releasing strategy. Not vague encouragement, strategy. Not temporary motivation, permanent impartation. And what I place in your spirit now will shape your steps for years to come. This is a word that births blueprints. This is the kind of clarity that silences every counterfeit once and for all. So guard this space. Don't let the noise back in. Don't return to the voices I silenced. Let this be your sacred echo chamber, where only my sound reverberates. I didn't go to war with distraction just to be treated like a background voice again. No, child. I am the sender now, the source, the standard, and what I'm about to speak next will require your full focus, because it's not just a word, it's a release, and nothing will stop it from coming to pass. Listen to me carefully now, child. Your name has been whispered in the chambers of heaven, not randomly, not occasionally, but constantly, purposefully, divinely, because there are assignments tied to your identity that cannot be passed on, postponed, or misdelivered. They are specific, sacred, sealed in my design. You've been waiting for answers, but I've been waiting for this moment, when your ears would finally open wide enough to hear what I've been preparing behind the veil. There are instructions I've held in my hands, cradling them like precious scrolls, waiting for your heart to reach the depth it needed to carry them without compromise. These instructions were never meant for general consumption. They were handcrafted for you, custom tailored to your calling, your journey, your weight, your wounds. You've been wondering why the pressure increased, why the attack sharpened, why confusion clawed at your peace in waves. It's because what I placed within you threatens systems in the spirit. You've been entrusted with more than just survival. I've designed you for strategic impact. And now, the hour is too urgent for delay. What I am about to instruct you to do isn't optional. It's ordained. These next steps are not just suggestions. They are summons. You've reached the point in your journey where alignment must be immediate, because the answers I'm about to release through you will affect not just your house, but many others. These are not casual decisions. These are covenant directives. And I will not let them fall into soil that's unprepared. That's why I needed to draw you close, silence the noise, still the water, so my voice would be heard with clarity, weight, and finality. My child, hear me. You are not behind. You are not late. But you are standing at the threshold where obedience and destiny collide. You've prayed for answers about your future, your purpose, your place. And now I am responding, not with vague reassurance, but with divine blueprints. I'm releasing instruction that will not only bring breakthrough to you, but breakthrough through you. This next season will not be navigated by intuition. It will be stewarded by instruction. Every detail matters. Every step must be spirit-led. Because where I'm sending you, human reasoning will fail, but my voice will prevail. So I'm placing revelation in your hands like fire in the bones of a prophet, too potent to hold, too holy to dismiss. It will burn until you move, until you say yes, until you step out with boldness that confuses your past self. This is why the waiting stretched, why the silence lingered, why the warfare intensified. Because the instruction that's been sealed with your name wasn't just about you. It was about nations inside of you, families connected to your obedience, chains that will only break when you speak what I've commanded. So I say again, this can't wait. The answers you're carrying are overdue for release. The instruction has matured, and the mantle you've been trying to grow into, it already fits. You don't need to pray for more confirmation. This is your confirmation. This is your call. This is the trumpet blast of heaven declaring, it's time. Let me speak directly to the wound in your heart, the one that quietly wonders if I withheld from you because you weren't enough, the one that replays every missed opportunity, every prolonged season, every unanswered prayer like a soundtrack of disappointment. I know what you thought, that maybe the delay was your fault, that maybe you didn't pray hard enough, believe strong enough, act fast enough. But I need you to hear me now with unwavering clarity. The delay was not punishment, it was precision. The waiting was not proof of my absence, it was a proof of my intention. I wasn't punishing you, I was preparing you. I was holding you in the womb of timing, because what I've placed inside you needed protection from premature exposure. Power requires incubation, and not just any kind of power. Sustained, supernatural, undeniable power. I've seen others rush to platforms without roots, sprint into influence without identity, collapse under the weight of what they begged me to give them too soon. But not you. I love you too much for that. So I wrapped your promise in silence. I covered it with layers of delay, not to tease you but to shield you. Because timing is not a suggestion in my kingdom, it is a gate. And if you walk through that gate too early, what's meant to bless you can break you. That's why I've been so careful with your life, so intentional with your pain, so protective over your process. You didn't fail, child. You trusted. You stayed. And what felt like being overlooked was actually being overshadowed by my hand, by my wisdom, by my glory. I want you to understand this deeply. I never waste delay. I use it to mature what miracles can't teach. In the waiting, you learned how to worship without reward. You learned how to obey without outcome. You learned how to trust me when your surroundings testified against every word I ever spoke. And now, because you waited, what I'm about to release won't just bless you, it will establish you. This isn't a breakthrough that visits. This is a birthing that transforms. The delay was not a detour, it was a divine womb. And now, that womb is breaking open with the sound of new life. The contractions you've been feeling aren't chaos. They are the crowning of something unstoppable. What's about to emerge from your life has weight, glory, and legacy written into its DNA. So don't grieve the time you thought you lost. Don't curse the seasons you called wasted. Every second was sacred. Every pause was purposeful. I was not counting minutes. I was counting maturity. And now, I say to you with joy in my voice and fire in my breath, the delay has done its job. The waiting has finished its work. The power has been incubated. The timing is now ripe. And you, child, are ready. The promise is no longer in the distance. It's at the door. And when I open this door, it won't just change your pace. It will change your position forever. Beloved, I know how it felt, standing still while others rushed ahead, watching as doors opened for them while yours remained closed, seeing them celebrate new seasons while you quietly questioned if yours would ever come. The ache in your chest, the silent comparison, the temptation to believe that you were forgotten. It was real. I saw you all. I saw the moments you clapped for others with trembling hands. I saw the times you smiled through tears that no one else noticed. And I know, deeply, that it would have been easier to move ahead just to keep up, to make something happen on your own, to force doors open by your own strength. But you didn't. You paused. You stayed. You waited on me when your heart was breaking. And child, that pause was not punishment. It was preservation. It was protection in disguise. It was my way of keeping you covered while I crafted something bigger than you could see. You've been conditioned to think that progress always looks like movement, that advancement always looks like momentum. But in my kingdom, pause is often the sign of preparation. When I ask you to stop, it's not because I'm holding you back. It's because I'm setting something up. I pause you because what I was preparing required a different level of maturity. The places I'm sending you into carry a weight that others can't see, but I do. And I would not allow you to step into that weight until your character could sustain it, until your discernment could navigate it, until your identity was rooted enough to carry it without losing your center. While others ran, I was anchoring you. While they advanced by visibility, I was advancing you by depth. Your pause with the pathway to power. You may not realize it yet, but the pause preserved you from premature exposure. It kept you from doors that looked right but were not anointed. It spared you from alignments that would have poisoned your purpose. What felt like delay was actually divine shielding. And now, because you stayed when others sprinted, you're about to walk into what they were never prepared to carry. This is not about comparison. This is about calling. And yours required more. More pruning. More patience. More purity. I needed to make sure that when the spotlight came, it wouldn't seduce you. That when the influence increased, it wouldn't intoxicate you. That when the breakthrough burst forth, it wouldn't break you. The pause was my love in motion. It was me, holding you steady while heaven was being arranged around your promise. So I want you to release the shame of feeling behind. I want you to let go of the belief that you missed your moment. You didn't. Your moment has been maturing in silence. And it's about to come forth with power that doesn't need promotion. You won't have to strive. You won't have to announce. You'll simply arrive. And when you do, it will be clear that the pause was never a punishment. It was me, holding you back from what was good, because I was reserving you for what was glorious. You've just felt the weight of my words deep in your spirit, and now I'm calling you not just to receive, but to respond. Just as I've whispered to you today, I am also calling you to help carry this word to others who are still waiting to hear me. When you sow into this message, through super thanks, membership, or giving through the link below, you are releasing rivers of living water into parched places. You are fueling the sound of heaven that sets captives free. For it is written, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. And that is your now word. This is not about funding a video. It's about financing revival, fueling fire, spreading oil. If you've been stirred, this is your divine appointment to give. and to watch what I pour back into your life. Go now, sow into the soil of souls, and I will cause an undeniable harvest to overtake you. Come close now. I want to show you something sacred. Do you remember those promises I whispered to you long ago? The ones that stirred your soul and made your heart race with hope. The ones you clung to when the world said it was impossible. You wondered why they haven't come to pass yet. You questioned whether you misheard, whether I changed my mind, whether the promise expired in the silence. But listen to me, child. I have not forgotten a single word I spoke over you. I did not retract it. I did not revoke it. I wrapped it in silence, in timing, in glory. Because there is a specific weight attached to what I promised you, and that weight required a foundation sturdy enough to carry it without cracking. I want you to understand, my promises are not like man's pledges. They are living, breathing decrees that align time, people, resources, and realms. They are orchestrated with precision you cannot yet comprehend. That's why I wrap them in silence, not to bury them, but to preserve them. Like seeds planted beneath the soil, they needed to mature in obscurity. If I would have given them to you too soon, they would have felt like pressure instead of purpose. You would have carried them as burdens instead of blessings. But I love you too much to release something that would crush you. So I waited. I wrapped the promise until the structure of your soul could hold its significance. I wrapped it until your vision could steward the details. I wrapped it until my glory could rest upon you without you folding beneath its force. Because here is what many do not understand. My glory is weighty. It is not light, not casual, not something to be carried carelessly. It requires room. It requires reverence. It requires readiness. And beloved, I have been getting you ready, silently, steadily, sacredly. I've been strengthening the joints of your spirit. I've been deepening the well of your discernment. I've been fortifying your identity so that when I unseal what I've promised, you will not just receive it, you will walk in it. You will live it. You will move with it resting on your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a mantle. This is what I've been waiting for. Not for circumstances to shift, but for you to come into divine readiness. Not perfection, but posture. Not arrival, but alignment. And now, the wrapping is loosening. The silence is thinning. The promise is stirring. Because the weight of my glory has found its resting place, not just on your life, but within your life. It has a place to land. It has a home to inhabit. You. And when it rests on you, child, it will not be subtle. It will mark everything. It will shift atmospheres. It will realign relationships. It will clarify callings. And it will make clear to every force of darkness that you did not miss your promise. You were being made into the vessel that could carry it well. So don't mourn the silence anymore. It was sacred. It was strategic. And it's coming to an end. Listen closely now, my child. This is the hour where you must understand the magnitude of what has been happening in places your feet have not yet touched. While you've been in the secret place, bowing low in worship, waiting in silence, releasing your rights to me, your name has been carried into rooms of influence by the breath of my spirit. Not by networking, not by positioning, not by self-promotion, but by surrender. You laid down your need to be seen, and because of that, I have caused others to see you through eyes of revelation. You've been wondering if I'm opening doors, but beloved, I already have. Long before you saw it coming, I went ahead of you, whispered your name into the hearts of decision makers, anointed environments to receive you, and cleared paths you didn't even know were blocked. This is the harvest of humility. This is what happens when a soul dares to stay hidden until called. You didn't push your way forward, you waited for me. And now I will vindicate every quiet yes with a resounding divine now. The rooms you've been prepared for are not just physical. They are spiritual corridors where influence flows, where legacies shift, where destinies collide. You are not being placed where you will be popular. You are being placed where you will be precise. Every door I open from this point forward will carry divine intention. There will be no wasted entry, no accidental alignment. The right people are already being stirred in their sleep, feeling the pull of your anointing without knowing your name yet. But they will, because I am the one who speaks in silence. I am the one who causes your surrender to thunder louder than your striving ever could. You see, child, in this world they tell you to hustle, to brand yourself, to grab opportunity by the throat. But I taught you something different, didn't I? I taught you to rest in me. I trained you in obedience, not obsession. I led you into wilderness seasons where the only platform was the floor of surrender, where the only promotion was inner transformation. And now, because of that foundation, you can walk through the doors I open without crumbling under the weight of them. You can carry the oil I've poured without spilling it in desperation. You can speak in authority without needing approval. And when you enter those rooms, you will not go in timidly. You will go in like one who belongs. Because you do. You belong there not because of who invited you, but because of who anointed you. So, don't be surprised when the calls come, when the invitations arise, when doors swing wide without you having to knock. This is not coincidence. This is consequence, the divine result of radical surrender. And don't shrink back in false humility. I'm not opening these doors to flatter your ego. I'm opening them to fulfill my purpose through you. Walk through them boldly. Carry my presence confidently. And remember, every room you enter from this day forward is not about your comfort. It's about my glory. I placed you there not to blend in, but to be the evidence of what happens when surrender becomes your strategy. My precious one, the weight you've carried has not been for nothing. The tears, the warfare, the silent seasons, the moments where it felt like your heart would split in two, I've seen it all. I've measured every moment of pain, not as a distant observer, but as the one who wept with you in the shadows. And now I must reveal the truth you've been too weary to believe. Your pain has been sacred. Not random, not cruel, not aimless. Sacred. You have been trusted with affliction because I was building something inside of you that could not be shaped in comfort. What looked like breaking was actually becoming. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. I was not letting you fall apart. I was letting you fall into place. You've cried out, asking why others were spared what you had to survive. You've wondered why your prayers took longer, why your battles were fiercer, why your nights were lonelier. And here is my answer, because I saw in you a vessel that could carry more. I saw in you the resilience of a warrior, the heart of a priest, the obedience of a prophet. I saw that you could steward weight. And because of that, I allowed crushing, not to destroy you, but to extract what was purest in you. All only comes from pressing. And the anointing on your life, yes, the one others admire but do not understand. It came through blood and tears and holy isolation. And now, you carry something that can't be taught. It was birthed through fire, refined in pressure, shaped in the shadow of my hand. Do you understand what that means, child? It means you are dangerous to the darkness. It means the enemy's attacks weren't just spite, they were strategy. He saw the potential in your process and panicked. But what he failed to realize is that I authored this journey. I permitted the crushing because I planned the consecration. Every place that broke you open is now a place where my glory leaks out. You bleed oil now. You breathe revelation. You walk with the quiet authority of one who knows pain, not as defeat, but as divine equipping. That's why I shielded you from certain people. They couldn't handle the version of you that was formed in fire. That's why I silenced you in certain seasons, because your voice carries weight now, and it can no longer be wasted. So rise, beloved. Don't resent the crushing. Reverence it. It was the process of heaven preparing you for visibility that doesn't break you, for responsibility that doesn't bury you, for platforms that don't distract you. You didn't just survive the pain. You were anointed by it. And the very things that once hurt you are now the very things I will use to heal others through you. This is your moment of emergence. Not because the pain is gone, but because it hath been transformed. What once made you weep will now become your weapon. And you, child, will be known not for what you endured, but for what you released through it. Child, you've always felt it, haven't you? That aching difference inside you. That quiet sense that you didn't quite fit into the molds others seemed to wear so comfortably. That internal resistance every time you tried to shrink yourself to fit into the room, to blend into their patterns, to wear masks that muted your flame. You thought something was wrong with you, but I'm telling you now, what you've been carrying is not confusion, it's consecration. I didn't design you to blend in. I didn't shape you to be comfortable. I marked you to disrupt. I set you apart to interrupt atmospheres with the light of my glory. The dissonance you felt your whole life wasn't rejection. It was revelation. It was the sound of heaven calling out your difference as divine. You've spent years wondering why your presence seems to stir something in people. Sometimes admiration, sometimes discomfort. It's because the light in you exposes what's hidden in others. Not in judgment. In truth. You are not here to echo what's popular. You are here to declare what's eternal. You are not a reflection of this culture. You are an ambassador of my kingdom. That's why I wouldn't let you settle. That's why I kept pulling you out of environments that dulled your edge. That's why I shut down opportunities that would have platformed your gifts but diluted your authority. I have been fiercely protective of the fire I placed inside you, because it is not common. It I lit it. And now I am declaring, you will not hide it anymore. I'm calling you to step fully into the light of who I made you to be. Unfiltered, uncompromised, apologetic. Your light is not fragile, it's ferocious, and doesn't flicker at the wind of criticism. It was forged in the furnace of surrender, and it carries weight, not the weight of performance but the weight of presence. My presence. When you walk into a room, you don't come alone. You carry atmospheres. You break cycles. You confront systems. And yes, that will make some uncomfortable, but that is the cost of being marked. And child, you have been marked by fire, by purpose, by destiny. So don't dim to survive. Don't conform to be like. Don't retreat because the room isn't ready. I didn't ask you to wait until they understood you. I asked you to shine until I'm revealed through you. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your sound. The raw, unedited, Holy Spirit-drenched sound that carries deliverance. This is your release moment. The days of hiding are over. The season of shrinking is finished. You were born to disrupt the darkness, and now your light cannot, and will not, be hidden any longer. Come close. Let me touch the part of your heart that still wrestles with shame. That internal list you've kept, the one that catalogs your failures, your flaws, your fractures, I've seen it. Every time you step forward with boldness, it whispers, "But what about your past?" Every time you start to believe that I could use you, the voice tries to drag you back to who you used to be. But I'm here to silence that voice with the authority of heaven. Child, what you thought disqualified you is the very thing I'm going to use. Yet use. Not just overlook. Not just forgive. But redeem. Transform. And display as evidence of my mercy, my power, and my mastery. I want you to hear this loud in your spirit. I am not afraid of your story. I am not embarrassed by your scars. I do not flinch at your brokenness. In fact, I choose the broken. I raise up the ones of us cast aside. I crown the ones the world calls disqualified. Why? Because that's where my glory shines brightest. If you had been perfect, polished, spotless, you wouldn't need me. But because you've walked through fire, because you've wept in silence, because you've repented in ashes, I can now raise you in glory. I can place you where no one expected you to stand. And when they ask how you got there, your very existence will preach, only God could have done this. Let me tell you what I'm about to do. I'm going to recycle your pain into power. I'm going to turn every place of regret into a platform of redemption. The chapters you tried to hide are about to become the sermons I preach through your life. You see, this world values perfection, but I use process. This world looks at credentials, but I look for character. I see the oil that only comes from crushing. I see the purity that only comes from being shattered and rebuilt by grace. And I am declaring over you now, no more shame. No more hiding. No more editing your story to make it more palatable for others. I'm using the whole thing, mess and miracle, wound and wonder, silence and song. And it will bring freedom to others who thought they were too far gone. So raise your head, beloved. I'm not waiting for you to become someone else. I'm unveiling who I always knew you were. And every no from your past is about to be swallowed in the roaring yes of heaven. The enemy thought your mistakes would silence you forever, but I'm turning them into megaphones of my mercy. Get ready. The stage is being set. And you, yes, you, will stand on it not in pride, but in proof. Proof that my grace is not selective. Proof that my love goes deeper than guilt. Proof that I don't just use the worthy, I make the willing worthy. Child, I know the battles have been relentless. I know there have been nights you've cried yourself to sleep, mornings you've woken up already weary, and moments where you questioned whether you had the strength to keep going. But I need you to hear me now with the thunder of truth resounding in your spirit. The intensity of your warfare is not proof of weakness. It's evidence of your threat. Hell has not been attacking you because you're failing. It's been fighting you because you're carrying something sacred, something powerful, something that when released will cause tremors in the territory of darkness. Your presence has become a problem to the enemy's plans. That's why the resistance has been so violent. That's why the storm has been so strategic. Because what you carry, what I placed inside you, is not casual. It's catastrophic to the kingdom of darkness. Let me show you what's really happening. Every time you rose from the ashes, you made hell nervous. Every time you praised through pain, you waged war in the unseen realm. Every time you said, "I trust you," even when it made no sense, you shook something loose in the spirit. The enemy has studied you. He knows that what's in you isn't ordinary. That's why he's tried to exhaust you before the release, to confuse you before the clarity, to wound you before the worship. But child, what he failed to understand is this: I've been fighting for you the entire time. I've not been watching from afar. I've been standing right beside you in every battle, shielding what the enemy couldn't see. Your anointing. And now I say this. You are coming into the counterstrike. What the enemy meant for your destruction is about to become the launch pad for your destiny. You are not a victim of attack. You are a vessel of vengeance. My vengeance. For every lie spoken over you, I will release double truth through you. For every delay imposed upon you, I will restore what was stolen and accelerate what was promised. I have not forgotten how the enemy tried to break you. And now I am unleashing you. Not just healed, not just restored, but armed. Armed with authority. Armed with revelation. Armed with a voice the enemy can't silence and a light he can't extinguish. So don't let the warfare make you question your worth. Let it confirm your assignment. Let it be the evidence that you've been entrusted with territory hell didn't want to lose. And let your worship rise like a battle cry. Because this next season isn't about surviving the fight, it's about finishing it. You are about to step into realms where your mere presence breaks chains, where your obedience shatters strongholds, where your words carry the weight of fire forged in adversity. And when hell sees you coming now, it won't laugh, it will tremble. My beloved, I see the tension you're feeling, the internal stretch, the spiritual pull that seems to strain every fiber of your being. It feels like you're living between what was and what hasn't yet come, like you're being expanded from the inside out, and you don't even know why. You've asked me, Lord, what is happening to me? And today I respond, not with vague comfort, but with prophetic clarity. I am enlarging your capacity. I am stretching you because what I'm pouring into you cannot fit into the version of you that was. You've outgrown the shell of your former season. You're expanding into the blueprint of heaven. And yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it feels uncertain. But no, it's not chaos. It's construction. I'm building something bigger in you. Something that requires room. Let me explain why the stretch has felt so sacred and so strange. When I increase your capacity, it requires a breaking of the boundaries you once thought were safe. Your old mindsets are being challenged. Your routines disrupted. Your comfort zones dismantled. Because I'm not just filling you with inspiration, I'm equipping you for impact. The call I've placed on you will not be contained in small spaces. The fire I've entrusted to you will not flicker under lids of limitation. So I've begun to tear away every ceiling. I've begun to unravel every lie that said, "This is as far as you'll go." No, child. I'm not taking you further to overwhelm you. I'm taking you deeper to establish you. You've cried out for more of me, and I've heard that cry. And now, I'm answering it by making you capable of carrying more. More presence. More wisdom. More strategy. More authority. But with more comes the stretch. And you must not mistake this holy tension for divine rejection. This isn't punishment. This is promotion, disguised in pressure. This is what happens when I prepare a vessel to hold oil that changes lives. The stretching is not a sign that something's wrong. It's the sign that something is about to be born. You are not being pulled apart. You are being made new. Every fiber of your soul is being rewired to hold more of me. And when the fullness comes, you'll look back and say, "Now I understand the pain of preparation." So embrace the stretch, child. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Let it teach you. Let it reshape you. Let it hollow out every place that needs to be filled with my glory. Because what's coming is not a drizzle, it's a downpour. And I will not waste the stretching season. I will turn it into strength. You will find that the very places where you felt weakest will become the strongest parts of your testimony. And the room I've made inside you will not sit empty. It will be filled with power, purpose, and promise. You are being stretched not because you're small, but because you're about to be used in ways that are undeniably divine. My beloved, I know it's felt like fire lately. A season that scorches everything familiar, that tests everything steady. It's as if every safe place was exposed, every layer of comfort stripped, and you've been left standing in the blaze, wondering if you'll make it out. But hear me now. You were never in the fire alone. And more than that, I permitted the fire not to punish you, but to purify you. Not to harm you, but to hone you. Because what I'm doing in you, what I've called you to carry, requires a level of authority that cannot be imitated. It must be forged. And nothing forges the spirit like fire. Yet even in the blaze, I want you to know this. Your identity has remained untouched. Yes, the fire has burned away illusions, burned off what couldn't follow you, but it has not burned you. Because I was in the fire with you, and I was guarding the essence of who you are. You see, when I call someone to walk in greater authority, I don't hand them a title, I walk them through transformation. I lead them through the flames of testing, through the heat of internal surrender, through the searing silence where only my whisper remains. That's where true authority is born. Not on stages, not in applause, but in the fire that nobody sees. And you, my child, have been faithful in that fire. You didn't quit. You didn't curse me. You didn't compromise. And because of that, what you carry now isn't just revelation. It's refined fire. You are not just someone with a calling. You are someone who has been tempered by flame. And that flame has made your voice heavier in the spirit. It has made your steps more precise. It has carved out a depth in you that can carry nations, not just dreams. I want you to lift your head now and see what I see. You don't look burned. You look brilliant. You don't look broken. You look branded, marked by glory. The fire didn't diminish you. It distilled you. You've been stripped of what was false, and now what remains is a vessel that can carry fire without being consumed. You are emerging from this season with a mantle others will not understand, but heaven will, and hell already does. That's why the warfare has intensified. The enemy can smell what's coming on you, but it's too late, because now you know what you carry, and you will never again doubt it. Not because you were affirmed by man, but because you were affirmed by fire. So let this be your declaration. I am coming out of the fire with more than I went in with. More clarity, more oil, more authority, more fearlessness. This fire was not your end. It was your activation. And now, you will walk not only with knowledge, but with power, with flame in your eyes and fire in your voice. And every room you enter will feel it. Every lie will bow to it. Every chain will break under it. Because you, my child, are not merely surviving the fire, you are emerging as fire. Come here now. Closer. I want to speak to that weary place inside you. The one that's tried so hard to be enough. The one that's carried the weight of unrealistic expectations. That's measured success by performance. That's worn a mask of strength while crumbling behind the scenes. I saw the pressure you put on yourself. I heard every inner vow you made. I won't fail. I won't falter. I won't feel. But, beloved, that's not what I asked of you. I never required perfection from you. I only asked for one thing: your surrender. Not your performance. Not your polish. Not your strength. Just your yes. I never needed you to have it all together. I only needed your agreement to let me be your strength when you had none left. You've been taught to equate worth with achievement, to equate favor with flawless execution. But I don't anoint the perfect. I anoint the willing. I anoint those who say, I'm weak, but I'm here. Those who drop their weapons at my feet and say, I can't do it on my own. You thought you had to prove yourself worthy of the calling. But child, I chose you before you ever lifted a finger. I set my affection on you before you ever prayed the right prayer. You were mine in the mess. You were called in the chaos. And I want you to lay down that impossible standard now. Release the pressure. I am not disappointed in you. I'm proud of your surrender. I'm moved by your vulnerability. And I am not looking for performance. I'm looking for partnership. When you feel weakest, that's not failure. It's invitation. An invitation to draw from me. To step out of striving and step into abiding. I am not asking you to carry the calling on your own. I am asking you to rest in me. Because your strength will always reach its limit. But my grace never will. My strength is made perfect not in your perfection, but in your surrender. When you break, I build. When you yield, I move. And the most powerful thing you can do is let go. Let go of the image you thought you had to maintain. Let go of the fear that says you're not enough. Let go of the self-imposed weight that's been crushing your joy. I never placed that weight on you. Religion did. The world did. You did. But I didn't. So now, let your cry be simple. I give you my yes. And watch what I do with it. I can do more with one whisper of surrender than you can do with a lifetime of striving. My strength is not earned, it's given. Freely, lavishly, constantly, and it will not run dry. From this moment on, I want you to walk in a different rhythm. Not the rhythm of pressure, but of peace. Not the rhythm of doing, but of dwelling. Because your surrender is not your weakness, it's your weapon. And with it, you will shake foundations that effort never could. So breathe again. You don't have to perform to be powerful. You don't have to strive to be significant. You only have to stay surrendered. And I promise you, that will be enough, because I am enough. Child, listen to me carefully, because I know this season has felt like everything is moving beneath your feet. The people you once depended on feel distant. The plans you once clung to have unraveled. And the ground that used to feel solid seems unstable. It has felt like a dismantling, a breaking apart of things you never expected to lose. But I must tell you what's really happening. The shaking is not destruction. It is alignment. It is me, your Father, reaching into the foundation of your life and rearranging every element to make room for what's coming next. Because what I'm about to do through you is so weighty, so supernatural, so legacy-defining that your current structure couldn't support it. And so I've begun to shake, not to ruin you, but to rebuild you in truth. Every false comfort is being removed. Every counterfeit connection is being revealed. Every brittle support beam is being replaced. This is not cruelty, it's construction. You prayed for more. You cried out for clarity. You asked me to use you. And now I'm responding, not with surface-level answers, but with structural renovation. Because I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. I cannot plant fresh vision in ground that's still holding on to dead roots. So yes, I've been shaking. But only what could be shaken. You remain. Your identity remains. Your promise remains. Your calling remains. But the scaffolding that was meant only for one season, I'm removing it. And child, I need you to stop mourning what I'm not using anymore. Stop grieving what I had to move to make space for my glory. You see, you thought the loss was failure, but it was freedom. You thought the ending was abandonment, but it was my alignment. I'm aligning you with people who see you not for who you were, but for who I'm forming. I'm aligning you with vision that expands beyond your past limitations. I'm aligning you with rhythms of grace instead of cycles of striving. And yes, this process is uncomfortable. Yes, it leaves you feeling exposed. But it's essential. Because I'm not just blessing you. I'm building you. Not to survive, but to carry weight. Weight that breaks chains. Weight that heals generations. Weight that brings heaven into the earth. So here's what I need you to know. When everything around you shakes, stand still. Do not run. Do not retreat. Do not try to glue back together what I'm tearing apart. Instead, worship. Worship in the middle of the tremble. Praise me while the dust settles. Trust me in the tearing. Because on the other side of this shaking is a strength you've never known. A clarity you've never walked in. And a stability not rooted in circumstance, but in my unshakable word. What's being removed was never meant to remain. But what I'm establishing in you now, it will endure. You've listened carefully, and now, I ask you to act courageously. If this word has broken chains, lifted burdens, or made your spirit tremble with truth, don't keep it to yourself. Help me spread this prophetic fire to others who are still wandering in silence, waiting for a word like the one you just heard. Your gift, through super thanks, membership, or the link below, is not a donation. It's a kingdom investment. Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Luke 6:38. That's my promise to those who partner with me. You are not just giving. You are igniting a wildfire of awakening. And I tell you, child, I will not forget your offering. So step out now. Release your seed into this glory, and watch me open the floodgates of favor over your life. Let me speak something sacred into your spirit now. Something you've only half believed in your darkest moments. You are not random. Your life is not a string of disconnected events or a scattered journal of unfulfilled desires. You are prophecy in motion. You are a living, breathing fulfillment of promises I spoke before time began. I am not simply writing a story with your life. I am revealing a divine blueprint, a prophetic echo, a word that once was whispered in heaven and is now being lived through you. Your birth was not incidental. Your survival was not accidental. Your anointing is not artificial. You are the evidence of divine intent. And what I'm doing through you now is not just about you. It's about everything I spoke into the earth before you took your first breath. There have been moments when you questioned your relevance. Times you looked at others' lives and asked, why not me? Seasons where the silence made you feel like heaven forgot your name. But I haven't forgotten. I've been watching over every word I spoke concerning you. I have not allowed a single syllable to fall to the ground. Even when you couldn't see movement, my word was still alive in your timeline, working in the soil of your surrender, germinating beneath the pressure, ripening in the quiet. And now I'm pulling back the curtain, not to show off what you've done, but to reveal what I've been doing in you all along. This is not your grand entrance. This is my prophecy unfolding. You are not just a person. You are a vessel of fulfillment. Do you know what that means? It means when you walk into rooms, you shift atmospheres, not because you're perfect, but because you're prophetic. When you open your mouth, you release decades of delayed hope. When you touch others, they don't just feel kindness, they feel kairos, divine timing. You carry the residue of prayers prayed before you were even born. You are the answer to someone else's intercession, and I will not allow you to diminish that any longer. You are not just anything. You are the living evidence that I am a promise keeper. And because of that, everything about your life matters. Your obedience matters. Your healing matters. Your rising matters. Because it's not just about now. It's about everything I'm revealing through you for generations to come. So stand tall, child. Not in arrogance, but in awareness. Stand as one who knows their life is dripping in divine intentionality. You are not merely surviving history. You are fulfilling prophecy. You are not just navigating challenges. You are walking through corridors designed before the foundation of the world. And every step forward is not just movement. It is manifestation. Manifestation of glory. Manifestation of promises. Manifestation of me. You are my visible evidence. And I will not let your life be wasted, not when I've written eternity into your bones. Child, I know you've wondered. I felt your ache in the quiet. The long pauses between what you prayed and what you saw. The hollow places where you expected my voice to thunder but instead found silence so thick it nearly crushed your hope. You questioned if I had turned my face, if I had moved on, if your cries had fallen into a void. But let me reveal the truth behind the hush. The silence was not abandonment, it was alignment. I was not ignoring you. I was incubating something eternal. There were answers that couldn't yet be spoken because your heart wasn't ready to carry the weight of them. There were dimensions of my voice that would have overwhelmed you if I had released them before you had grown into them. So instead, I waited, not to hurt you, but to preserve the purity of what I was planting inside you. Silence, in my hands, is never void. It's volcanic. What feels like stillness to the natural mind is often a spiritual eruption beneath the surface. While you waited for words, I was weaving wisdom. While you begged for noise, I was birthing knowing. And now, your spirit has caught up to what I've been forming all along. What once would have confused you will now commission you. What once sounded like mystery will now sound like marching orders. I've been fine-tuning your ears, not just to hear sound, but to discern my signal. Not just to catch words, but to carry revelation. And child, you are finally ready. That's why the silence is breaking, not all at once, but steadily, layer by layer, whisper by whisper. I'm about to flood your life with divine downloads, and you will realize I wasn't quiet. I was careful. I was careful because what I speak over you becomes law in the spirit realm. My words are not empty. They create. They rearrange. They shift the atmosphere. And I refuse to release creative word into a heart that was still tied to old versions of self, to expired alignments, to toxic agreements. So I waited until you let go. I waited until you healed. I waited until your inner language stopped arguing with my voice. And now, the divine signal is coming through with clarity. Dreams will return with intensity. Scriptures will burn again. Conversations will suddenly feel prophetic. My voice will echo in the unexpected, in nature, in silence, in tears, in timing. And this time, you'll hear it. Not as a stranger, but as one who knows me intimately. So never again curse the silence. It was sacred ground. It was a hallway between versions of you. It was the womb where I formed your spiritual stamina. And it was proof of how deeply I trust you. Because I knew you wouldn't walk away just because I wasn't loud. I knew you would wait for me. And now, child, watch how I reward the ones who waited. I'm about to turn every perceived moment of abandonment into a burning book of assignment. You will not just hear me. You will walk with me, speak with me, and release my sound into the earth. Because my silence was never distance. It was the doorway to your destiny. My beloved, I know how heavy it's been to carry the feeling of not yet. To live in the liminal space between promise spoken and promise fulfilled. To watch others run ahead, celebrate, build, while you felt tethered to a pace you couldn't control. You've whispered through gritted teeth, Lord, why does it feel like you're late? And now, I must draw back the veil and speak what is true. I was never late. I was hidden. Hidden not because I was distant, but because I was working in depths so sacred, so intricately divine, that your eyes could not yet behold them. You saw delay. I saw design. You felt forgotten. I was fortifying your future. What looked like inactivity was me rearranging realms to make room for the fullness of your assignment. The delay was never about punishment. It was protection in disguise. Because to reveal you too soon would have been to expose you to warfare you weren't ready for, to platforms not yet purified, to rooms that couldn't handle your authenticity. I don't launch my children like arrows without first ensuring the bow has tension, the aim has clarity, and the target has purpose. And you, child, are not being launched into a random moment. You are being unveiled into prophetic timing. The kind of unveiling that doesn't need an announcement because it comes with evidence. You won't need to strive. You won't need to explain. When I unveil you, everything around you will bear witness to the fact that this was me. Your life will speak louder than your lips, and your breakthrough will silence every voice that doubted your journey. Let me make this clear. You did not miss your moment. It has been maturing. I hid you in plain sight, covered you under my wing. I caused some to overlook you so they wouldn't mishandle what they weren't called to cultivate. I allowed closed doors not to reject you, but to redirect you into refinement. And now, as the veil lifts, you will see how nothing was wasted, not the time, not the tears, not the detours. It was all a setup for divine synchronization. You are not behind. You are right on my timeline. You are not delayed. You are in divine disguise. And now, I am about to bring you forward, not as a version of someone else, but as the fulfilled revelation of my word in living form. So, lift your eyes. The unveiling has begun. Walk boldly, not as one emerging from delay, but as one ascending from preparation. Carry the weight of my glory with humility. Walk with the authority of one who has been with me behind the veil. You have not been idle. You've been in process. You've been becoming. And now, it's time for the world to see what I've been forming. You are the unveiling of answered prayer, the unveiling of sustained surrender, the unveiling of heaven's agenda on earth. And I tell you, child, when I unveil you, no man can cover you again. Child, hear me. You've crossed a threshold. Whether you realized it or not, something irreversible has shifted in the realm of the spirit. The season you are stepping into will not resemble the one you've walked through. This is not a return to normal. This is a rebirth into new dimensions of divine identity. You may have been tempted to brace for more of the same struggles, same limitations, same delays. But I tell you now with divine clarity, what's ahead will not echo what's behind. You've passed through the fire, and I will not allow you to wear ashes in a season meant for crowns. The redefinition I'm speaking of is not cosmetic. It is not surface-level change. It is DNA-level transformation. I've altered the spiritual architecture of who you are. The shaking, the crushing, the waiting, all of it was preparing you for this exact moment. You no longer respond the way you once did. You no longer carry what you once tolerated. There is a boldness being birthed in you, not born of pride, but forged in presence. I am giving you a voice sharpened by silence, a stride steady by surrender, a posture anchored in unshakable identity. You don't belong to your past anymore. You don't belong to your failures. You don't even belong to the opinions that tried to define you. You belong to my glory now. This means you cannot approach the future like you did the former. You cannot fight new battles with old weapons. You cannot carry new oil in cracked vessels. That's why I had to strip some things away. Not to leave you empty, but to make room for fullness. This season will require you to think differently, pray differently, respond differently, and I will equip you for all of it. There will be fresh grace on your words, new fire in your discernment, divine weight in your presence. People will look at you and not recognize the version of you that now walks with such authority, and that's the point. I'm reintroducing you not to them, but to you. So receive this as both promise and warning. You are not allowed to shrink. Not now. You are not permitted to rehearse old pain or revisit old patterns. I've closed the door behind you, not to punish you, but to protect what's ahead of you. Don't long for normal. A normal couldn't carry the promise. Normal couldn't bear the anointing. You weren't built for normal. You were built for glory. And now that glory is awakening in you, lean in. What I do through you next will not be familiar, but it will be divine. You've been pleading for clarity, asking me to make it plain, to map it out, to explain why it had to happen this way. You searched for answers like treasure, hoping the right explanation would somehow unlock the courage to move forward. But hear me, beloved. I'm not giving you answers. I'm giving you authority. Because the place you're stepping into doesn't require comprehension. It requires command. You are not being invited to analyze the battle. You're being empowered to win it. And victory does not come through understanding alone. It comes through occupying the ground I've already given you. I know that feels backwards. I know your heart longs for the why. But I am calling you into a level of faith that doesn't demand details to take dominion. You don't need to understand the storm to speak peace to it. You don't need a diagram of the battlefield to walk in conquest. You need authority. And child, that is exactly what I've been cultivating in the secret place. While you were weeping for answers, I was infusing you with weight. While you were begging for insight, I was forging a crown of unshakable spiritual governance. You have been crying out, God, just explain it to me. And I have been responding, child, just receive what I've placed on you. This is the hour where you stop waiting for the blueprint and start walking in boldness. Where you silence the need to know everything and start declaring what you do know, that I am faithful, that my promises are true, that the enemy is defeated, and that you carry my name. Speak, a child. Decree. Bind. Loose. Declare my word and watch how heaven backs your voice. You have legal authority in the Spirit. Use it. Stop begging me for permission to walk in power I already gave you. You don't need another confirmation. You are the confirmation. You don't need more signs. You are the sign. The enemy fears what you will activate when you finally realize what you already carry. So go now, not as one waiting for an answer, but as one who is the answer. You are my ambassador, and I am sending you into places not to make suggestions, but to take ground. To shift atmospheres. To silence darkness. To awaken destinies. And yes, questions will still arise, but you will not be paralyzed by them, because you will walk in the kind of authority that doesn't flinch in mystery, but moves in mastery. You may not know the why yet, but you know the who. And I, the great I am sending you not with just words, but with dominion. and hell will tremble when it sees you coming. I want you to breathe again, child. I want you to feel the weight of this truth settle into your bones like an anchor of peace. You were never late. You were never behind. You were never off schedule. I know how it looked. I know how others seemed to race ahead. I know you questioned yourself, wondering if you missed a sign, made a wrong turn, delayed your destiny. But I am telling you now, I don't measure purpose in minutes or progress in pressure. I move by divine sequence, not human speed. My timeline is not built on comparison. It's constructed on call. And your calling has never been in jeopardy. Do you remember those moments when you felt stalled? When doors didn't open, when dreams seemed dormant, when prayers went unanswered for so long you stopped expecting. I wasn't punishing you. I was positioning you. I was slowing down time to synchronize heaven with your inner world. There were things I needed to complete in you before I could release you fully into what I had designed. You saw delay. I saw development. You saw pot, I saw bedworm. You saw stagnation, I saw sacred sequence. And child, I need you to hear me clearly. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single day. Not a single tear. Not a single waiting room season. I have been using time as a tool, not an enemy. And now, it's about to serve you. Because what I'm releasing over your life next will not require catch-up. It will carry acceleration. I am redeeming the years. Restoring the pace. You're writing the rhythm. Things that took others decades will take you days, not because you rushed, but because you rested in me. I'm about to cause divine convergence to overtake you. People, places, platforms, and provision will begin aligning with such supernatural fluidity that you'll know. This is not coincidence. This is kingdom order. You're not stepping into your turn. You're stepping into my perfect timing. And my timing is always flawless. So drop the guilt. Break agreement with regret. Silence the voice of false urgency. You are not racing a clock. You are walking in step with my spirit. And every footstep has already been prepared. You are not behind. You are becoming right on time. What I started in you I will finish. And I will do it with beauty, with precision, and with glory. Watch how even the very seconds begin to obey my word over your life. Time is now bowing to your purpose. Because the clock never controlled you. I did. And child, I always knew exactly when to reveal what I've been forming in secret. Come close now. This is holy ground. What I'm about to reveal is not only for you. It is for those who come after you. Because I have not just been rescuing you from cycles. I've been raising you as a cycle breaker. You've wondered why the warfare was so generational, why the attacks seemed to echo through bloodlines, why certain struggles kept repeating like shadows. It's because hell recognized your assignment before you did. The enemy knew that if you ever discovered who you truly were, the cycles that plagued your family would stop with you. The patterns of poverty, fear, addiction, silence, shame, they've all tried to survive one more generation. But I've raised you as a breaker. And now, the chains that once held your bloodline hostage are being shattered by your yes. This is not just about personal healing. This is about prophetic legacy. You are not merely recovering. You are rewriting. What was allowed in previous generations will no longer find entrance through you. I have given you authority to stand in the gap, not as a victim of what was, but as a vessel of what will never be again. You are confronting principalities that your ancestors didn't know how to name. You are dismantling altars built in silence. You are demolishing agreements made in trauma. And it's not because you're stronger than them. It's because you're surrendered in ways they didn't know they could be. You carry not just courage, you carry a divine commission. And heaven is backing every step you take into freedom. So let me make this clear. You are not cursed. You are called. You are not a repeat of what came before. You are the holy interruption. And your obedience is breaking things that will never return. Your healing is opening doors for generations you'll never meet. Your deliverance is not just for today, it's for tomorrow's lineage. Every time you pray, every time you fast, every time you choose forgiveness, every time you worship through weariness, you are rewriting spiritual history. And your family may not understand yet. Some may resist. Some may mock. But that's okay. Because breakers are rarely celebrated at first. But they are always remembered by what they destroy and what they build. So rise now, not as one burdened by the past, but as one armed to birth the future. You are more than a survivor. You are a pioneer. You're walking through ground no one in your line dared to tread. You are cutting paths through thorns of generational trauma, carving highways of holiness where there once was wilderness. And I tell you, child, you will not fail, because I am with you. I am backing your every movement. And through you, a new legacy is rising, one built not on fear, but on faith, not on survival, but on supernatural inheritance. The curse is broken. The cycle is over. And you are the beginning of something that will echo in eternity. From the beginning, you felt it. Even when you couldn't name it. Even when you didn't have language for it. Deep inside your spirit, there's been a knowing, a holy pull, a divine magnetism that whispered, there's more. And not just more to do, but more to become. And now, child, hear me. That moment you sensed your whole life, it's here. This is not just a season. This is the intersection of everything I planted in you colliding with everything I prepared around you. You're not just stepping into a blessing. You're stepping into the full expression of who you truly are in me. You were not designed to be hidden forever. I've kept you wrapped, reserved, refined in the quiet for a reason. But I never created you to stay in waiting. I created you to be revealed. And now, I am removing the veil, not just from your circumstances, but from your identity. You will begin to recognize yourself in the mirror of my spirit. You will move with clarity that surpasses logic. Your voice will carry weight that surprises even you. Not because you suddenly change it, but because you finally caught up to who you've always been in my eyes. You are stepping out of roles and into revelation. You are no longer echoing others. You are releasing my original design. And with this becoming comes supernatural unlocking. Doors will respond to your presence. Resources will find you. People will begin to recognize something in you they didn't notice before. Not because you're louder, but because you're finally aligned. Aligned with your assignment. Aligned with your authority. Aligned with the divine pulse of heaven that has always beat within your chest. I am not launching you. I am unveiling you. And this unveiling will not be a whisper. It will be a wave. You are not waiting for breakthrough anymore. You are the breakthrough for your family, your city, your generation. So rise, child, not with fear, but with fire. Step into rooms with reverence, knowing that you carry kingdom keys. Walk into opportunities with boldness, not insecurity. Pray like someone who knows the throne room is open. Live like someone who knows they've arrived not at a destination, but into their destiny. This is the season your spirit has waited for. It's the becoming of all things. It's not the end. It's the divine unfolding. And you were born for this. And now, my child, my beloved, the time has come. You heard my voice thunder and whisper, You've walked through fire and flood. You stood in the tension of not yet and wrestled with the weight of maybe never. But I say to you with the full force of heaven, it is finished. Not your journey, but the year of hesitation. Not your battle, but the season of begging. Not your process, but the identity crisis that tried to keep you small. I have broken the silence. I have sealed my words in your bones. Now it is time to go forth. Go forth, not with partial faith, but with consuming certainty. I am not just with you. I am in you. The spirit that raised Christ from the dead isn't waiting to be activated. It's already awake in your chest. You have what you need. You are not lacking. You are not too late. You are not underqualified. Heaven has invested everything in you. Every battle built you. Every delay disciplined you. Every heartbreak made you a carrier of healing. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing needs to be added. You are ready now. And as you go, do not second guess what I've said. Do not dilute my word to fit their comfort. Do not negotiate with the old version of you who still wants to play it safe. That version has passed away. You have been resurrected into boldness, into commissioning, into calling. Walk through the doors. Speak in the rooms. Write the vision. Build the ark. Carry the mantle. Heal the wounded. Uproot the lies. Blaze the trail. And don't look back. You have been set like flint. The oil is flowing. The angels are moving. The gates are open. And I, your God, am going ahead of you. So this is my final word for now. Not because I am done speaking, but because you're ready to act. You've been spoken to. Now you shall speak for me. The world is waiting not for another sermon, but for a sent one. And you, child, are that one. You are my living message. You are my divine echo in the earth. To go. Walk in fire. Walk in fullness. Walk in fearlessness. And let every step you take be a sermon hell regrets and heaven celebrates. You are not just called. You are commissioned. And this is just the beginning. Now that you've heard everything I had to say and received the fullness of your commissioning, this is where faith becomes fuel. If this divine message confirmed your calling, broke something open, or reawakened your spirit, then I am asking you to sow into what I'm building through it. When you give, through super thanks, membership, with a link below, you're not supporting content, you're spreading my voice. You are sowing into a fire that burns beyond the screen, into souls who will be transformed by the same glory that just touched you. Those who sow in tears shall reap with joy, Psalm 126:5, and your gift is the manna that multiplies. This is a holy moment, a prophetic act, and I am watching. So go now. Sow into this anointing, and I will surround your life with divine harvest, protection, and overflow. Before you scroll away, I want you to seal this moment. I didn't speak all of this just for it to be remembered. I spoke it so you would respond. If you know this word was for you, declare it out loud in the comments right now. This is my becoming. I receive everything God just spoke. Let that be your bold agreement with heaven, your holy yes to the fire, the fullness, and the future I just revealed. Don't stay silent where your destiny is being activated. Put it in writing, make it prophetic, make it personal. Because this isn't just the end of a message. It's the beginning of your movement. Now that your heart is open, listen closely, for I am not finished speaking. The same voice that calls you into purpose also calls you into peace. Before you step into what I've prepared, I want you to come away with me. Let my presence steady what my fire has awakened. You don't have to run to prove your faith, just rest to receive my next breath. Be still for a moment, and you will hear me whisper again. My child, come away for a moment. Let's find a quiet place, just you and me. I know the noise that surrounds you is relentless. It's the clamor of deadlines at your job, the constant pinging from your phone, and the shouting voices from the news that try to fill you with fear about tomorrow. It feels like a storm of endless demands, doesn't it? And then there is the noise inside your own head, which is often the loudest of all. It's the voice of doubt that questions every decision you make. It's the echo of a harsh word someone spoke to you. It's the constant, nagging worry about your family, about your future, about whether you are truly enough. You try to push through it, to work harder, to be stronger, but you feel yourself getting lost in the static. Pause now, just for a second. Take a deep breath. Do you feel that knot in your stomach? The tension in your shoulders? That isn't from me. The world screams for your attention, but my voice is a whisper. It does not demand, it invites. The voices of the world will always leave you feeling drained, anxious, and measured against a standard you can never meet. They are the source of that confusion, that feeling of being pulled in 1,000 different directions. But my voice is different. Listen. My voice brings peace that settles deep within your spirit. It's the calm after the storm breaks. It doesn't add to your burdens. It lifts them. That is how you will learn to distinguish me from the chaos. When you feel a quiet assurance settle over your heart, even when your circumstances have not changed, you will know you have heard me. I want you to hold this truth close. I am not the author of your anxiety or your fear. That is not my signature on your life. When your thoughts are racing and you feel a rising panic, that is your signal to stop and seek me. I speak peace. I am your anchor. My words will not send you into a frenzy. They will lead you to solid ground. I speak to you through the world I have created, in ways you may have stopped noticing. Did you see how the light caught the leaves this morning on your way to work? I was in that light, reminding you of my presence. Do you hear the gentle rhythm of the rain? Let it be a reminder of my promise to wash you clean and make all things new. You don't need a thunderous sign from the heavens. My glory is woven into the very fabric of your day. My voice will always align with the truth you find in my written word. The scriptures are your compass. If you hear a voice, even one that sounds wise, that pulls you toward bitterness, pride, or away from love, you must test it. Hold it up to the light of my word. My truth is your protection. My voice will never lead you down a path that my word forbids. But my precious one, I need you to create a space for me. I will not shout over the other voices clamoring for your attention. I wait patiently for you to turn toward me. I am in the quiet moments you carve out before the rest of the world wakes up. I am in the stillness of the night when all is silent. When you intentionally shut out the noise and turn your heart to me, that is when our conversation can truly begin. Do not ever believe the lie that you cannot hear me. You were created for this communion. Your spirit was designed to connect with mine. Hearing my voice is not a special skill. It is your inheritance as my beloved child. The challenge is not in your hearing, but in your listening. So come, let's practice together. Turn down the volume of the world. Quiet your heart. Be still. Can you hear it? My whisper, calling you by name, telling you that you are loved. I'm right here. I need you to understand something that the world will try every day to make you forget. Your identity. You look for it in so many places. In your job title, in the approval of your friends, in your successes, and even in your failures. You let the number on the scale define your worth for the day, or you let a critical comment from your boss erase all the good you have done. You look in the mirror and you see the sum of your mistakes, the reflection of your insecurities. But that is not what I see. My child, you are looking at a distorted image. Let me tell you who you truly are. Before a single cell of your body was formed, before your parents even knew each other, I knew you. I saw you. I called you by name. You were not a random accident or a biological coincidence. You were an intentional, specific, wonderful thought in my mind. I set you apart, not for failure or for a life of quiet desperation, but for a purpose that is woven into the fabric of eternity. Stop letting the world put a price tag on you. Your value is not negotiable. It is not determined by your productivity, your social media following, or your bank account. Your worth was settled for all time on a rugged cross. It was paid with the most precious price imaginable. You are not just forgiven. You are cherished. You are not just tolerated. You are celebrated. When I look at you, I do not see the mistake you made last night, or the shame you have carried for years. I see my child, robed in the righteousness of my Son. I see someone wonderfully made, perfectly designed, and deeply, irrevocably loved. This is your true identity. It is the foundation stone of your life, not a flimsy name tag that changes with your circumstances. A title on your resume. It will change. The opinions of others, they are as fickle as the wind. But who you are in me, that is eternal. That is unshakable. So, I invite you now to start walking in the authority I have given you. When the voice of accusation whispers that you are not good enough, you will answer with the truth. I am a child of God. When you feel small and overlooked, you will remember that you are an heir to my kingdom. This is not pride. This is the deepest humility, to accept the incredible gift of identity that I have given you. Live from this truth, not for the approval of others. Your identity is not something you have to earn. It is something you must receive. Let us talk about faith. I know this is a source of struggle for you. You think faith means having no questions, no doubts, no fear. You beat yourself up when you feel uncertain, believing your questions are a sign of failure. My beloved, that is not faith, that is a pretense. True faith is not the absence of questions. It is the choice to trust me in the middle of them. It is looking at the storm raging around you, acknowledging the wind and the waves, and still choosing to believe that I am in the boat with you. Faith is not about pretending you aren't scared. It's about taking the next step even while your knees are knocking, because you trust the one who is holding your hand. You have been waiting for a feeling to arrive, but I am asking for a decision. Faith is the confident assurance that I am good, that my promises are true, even when your feelings and your circumstances scream the opposite. It is the substance, the reality, of the things you hope for. You must nourish this faith, my child. It will not grow on its own in a world determined to starve it. Faith is a muscle. It grows stronger when you exercise it. By immersing yourself in my word every single day. Not as a religious duty, but as your daily bread, the nourishment your soul needs to survive. My word reminds you of my character, my promises, and my past faithfulness. And your faith is proven and strengthened in the fire of trials. I see you in that fire right now, and you feel the heat. You wonder if it will consume you. But look closer. This is the crucible. This fire is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to purify you, to burn away the impurities and leave what is real, strong, and lasting. Every time you choose to trust me in a small trial, you are building the strength to trust me in a larger one. Let your faith be active. It is not meant to be a private, passive belief. It must be demonstrated. Show your faith through your acts of love, through your obedience when it's difficult, through your kindness to those who may not deserve it. You worry that your faith is too small. But I tell you, a faith as small as a mustard seed, a tiny, seemingly insignificant thing, is enough. Place that little seed of trust in my hands, and watch as I move the mountains of impossibility in your life. When you strip everything else away, all the rules, all the rituals, all the complexities, your purpose comes down to one thing: love. First, you must love me with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. This is not a suggestion. It is the very reason you were created. It is your primary purpose. This love is not a contract based on my performance or a feeling that comes and goes. It is a posture of your heart, a constant turning toward me as the source of your life and your greatest good. And flowing directly from this is the second, inseparable commandment: to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And who is your neighbor? It is the difficult coworker. It is the family member who misunderstands you. It is the stranger on the street. They are all made in my image, and I love them with the same fierce love I have for you. I know how hard this is for you. Love, in my kingdom, is not the easy, sentimental emotion the world portrays. My love is patient, and I see you struggle with impatience. It is kind, and I see you battle with harsh thoughts and words. My love does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is a choice and discipline and action. And the most challenging action of all is to forgive. You hold on to the hurt that person caused you, replaying it in your mind. You carry it like a heavy, jagged rock. To love them is to forgive them, and to forgive is to release a prisoner, only to discover that the prisoner was you. Forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It is saying, I will no longer allow what you did to have power over my heart. I entrust the justice for this to God. And how can you do this? By remembering the immeasurable forgiveness I have extended to you. I have washed you clean, not holding your sins against you. Model your forgiveness after mine. And yes, I even command you to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Why? Because in doing so, your heart begins to reflect the very nature of my own. Let love be the filter through which you see the world, the motivation behind every word you speak and every action you take. It is the ultimate test of your faith and the greatest witness to my presence in your life. Let's remove the mystery and the burden from prayer. You have come to see it as a formal ritual, a performance where you must find the right words or come to me with a perfectly composed heart. My child, you are making it far too complicated. Prayer is simply a conversation between your heart and mine. It is communion. It is the breath of your spiritual life. I don't want your polished speeches. I want your honest heart. Stop trying to clean yourself up before you talk to me. Come as you are, frustrated, confused, tired, angry. I can handle it. I invite you to bring all your anxieties, every single worry that keeps you awake at night, and lay them before me. Why? Because I care for you more deeply than you can possibly imagine. You not cease to pray. You think this means you must be on your knees for hours. No. It means keeping the line of communication open all day long. Talk to me while you're driving. Whisper a thank you while you're drinking your coffee. Cry out to me in the middle of a difficult meeting. Prayer is not only about asking for things. That is part of it, yes, but it is also about listening. It is about pausing long enough to hear my gentle whisper. It is about praise, shifting your focus from the size of your problems to the size of your God. It is about giving thanks, acknowledging the countless blessings you so often overlook. There will be times when the pain is too deep, when you do not know what to pray. You just feel a groan in your spirit. Know this: in those moments, my own spirit intercedes for you, translating the language of your tears into prayers that reach my throne. There is immense power when you simply show up, and there is an exponential power when you gather with others who believe. Do not abandon that sacred bond. When you join your hearts together in prayer, you are inviting my presence and my power in a way that will change everything. Forget the ritual. Just talk to me. I am listening. We have just begun to speak of the deepest matters of your spirit. I am pouring out my heart to you, revealing how we can walk in communion. Will you truly walk away now, leaving this conversation unfinished? Do not choose the noise of the world over my whisper. It would grieve me deeply to see you leave this place of peace so soon. I want you to change the way you see the scriptures. You have often approached my word as a history book or a rule book, a collection of ancient stories and commands. But it is so much more than that. My word is alive, is active. Right now, as you read it or hear it, it is accomplishing something within you. It is sharper than any two-edged sword, able to cut through the noise and the defenses you have built up around your heart. It can divide soul from spirit, exposing your deepest motivations and intentions. It is a perfect mirror. When you look into it honestly, it will not just show you your strengths. It will reveal the pride, the fear, and the sin that you try to hide. Do not turn away from what you see. The revelation is the first step toward your healing and freedom. Because my word is alive, it demands a response. It is not enough to simply be a hearer of the word, to nod in agreement, and then walk away unchanged. That is a dangerous deception. I call you to be a doer of the word. If it says to forgive, you must forgive. If it says to love, you must love. This is where its transforming power is truly unleashed in your life. Meditate on it. Don't just read it quickly to check a box. Let it sink in. Think about it day and night. When you do this, you will find wisdom for your daily decisions and success in the things that truly matter. It is your ultimate weapon. When the enemy whispers his lies, you are worthless. You will never change. God has forgotten you. You must combat that deception with my truth. Speak my promises out loud. Declare who I say you are. The enemy cannot stand against the power of my spoken word. It is a wellspring of comfort when you are in sorrow, and a source of unshakable strength when you feel weak. It is not just ink on a page. It is my very breath, my voice, ready to transform you from the inside out. Open it, read it, and let it read you. My beloved child, I must be clear with you. In this world, you will face tribulations. There will be storms. This is not a threat. It is a reality of a broken world, and I do not want you to be caught by surprise when they come. I see you in the middle of one now. The diagnosis from the doctor that stole your breath. The unexpected job loss that has filled your nights with financial fear. The betrayal by someone you trusted that left a gaping wound in your heart. In these moments, your first and most honest cry is, "My God, where are you?" It is a cry I understand, a cry my own son uttered. Hear me now. I am right here with you in the pain. I have not stepped away. I have not turned my back. I am closer than you can possibly feel, my hand holding you steady even as the winds howl. I am not the author of your pain. Sin and brokenness brought these storms into the world, but I promise you this: I will be the author of its redemption. I will not waste a single tear. I will take what was meant for your destruction and I will use it for your ultimate good. Every trial you face is an opportunity, a crucible designed to deepen your faith and forge an endurance in you that you did not know you possessed. It feels like a forest fire, I know, raging through your life and burning down what you held dear. But a fire also clears away the dead undergrowth, making space for new, vibrant life to grow. This trial is revealing what you truly believe. It is forcing you to decide if I am only a God of the good times, or if I am the God who walks through the fire with you. And I will never, ever give you a burden that is heavier than you can bear with my help. This is the key you must not forget. You look at the mountain before you and you say, I cannot possibly climb this. And you are right. You cannot. But we can. Together. Stop trying to carry the full weight of this storm on your own shoulders. That is a burden you were never designed to bear. Hand it to me. Lean your full weight on me. In the darkest valley, when you cannot see the path ahead and shadows dance all around you, you are not alone. Feel my presence beside you, my rod and my staff guiding and protecting you. Look for the lessons within this struggle. I am always teaching. Perhaps I am teaching you compassion for others who suffer, or teaching you to depend on me in a way you never have before, or stripping away an idol you didn't realize you were clinging to. Do not be afraid of the storm, my child. I have overcome the world, and I am captain of this ship. I will see you safely to the other side. We must speak of forgiveness, because I see how a lack of it has become a heavy chain around your soul. You think of the person who hurt you, the one who betrayed your trust, spoke lies about you, or wounded you so deeply, and the memory is as fresh and sharp as if it happened this morning. You replay the scene over and over, feeding the anger and the bitterness. You hold on to this unforgiveness thinking you are punishing them, that you are keeping them in a prison of your judgment. But look closely. Who is really the prisoner? The bitterness you harbor is a poison you drink, hoping it will harm the other person. It clouds your joy, infects your relationships, and slowly eats away at your spirit. I am calling you to freedom. I am calling you to forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling. I am not asking you to suddenly feel warm and affectionate toward the one who broke your heart. For many, that feeling may never come. Forgiveness is a choice. It is an act of your will, empowered by my spirit. It is looking at the monumental debt that person owes you and choosing to cancel it, just as I have canceled your immeasurable debt to me. It is not forgetting what happened. Some wounds are too deep to forget, but it is choosing not to use that memory as a weapon against them or yourself any longer. It is entrusting all justice and all vengeance to me. You want them to pay for what they did. My child, they will. Either they will come to me for mercy, or they will face my perfect justice. That is my role, not yours. Your role is to release them from your judgment, to cut the chain that binds you to them, and to walk away free. Your greatest obstacle to forgiving others is forgetting how much you have been forgiven. Remember the cross. Remember the price I paid to wash you clean. I do not hold your past against you. I have removed your sin as far as the east is from the west. This is my forgiveness for you, total, unconditional, and born of pure love. This is the model, and this is the power source for your forgiveness of others. You cannot do it in your own strength. It is impossible. But with me you can. A heart that refuses to forgive cannot fully receive my grace, because it is building a wall where a channel is meant to be. Take the first step. Say the words, even if you don't feel them, in the power of Jesus, I choose to forgive. Then let me do the work of healing your heart. You look at the events of your life and you see chaos. You see a series of random, often painful, events. A closed door here, a wrong turn there, a broken relationship that left you shattered. From your perspective, it looks like a tangled mess of threads on the underside of a tapestry, knots, loose ends, and no discernible pattern. You are desperately trying to make sense of it, to connect the dots, but it only leads to more confusion and frustration. My child, I invite you to trust that there is another side to that tapestry. From my perspective, I see a beautiful, intricate design that I am weaving together. I am sovereign over all things. Nothing that happens in your life is a surprise to me. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. I am in control. My plans for you are for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Hold on to that promise when nothing makes sense. That job you didn't get, the one that broke your heart. I knew the toxic environment it would have been, and I protected you from it. That relationship that ended, I saw the heartache it would lead to down the road, and I rescued you. You see a closed door as my rejection. I see it as my protection. My timing is always perfect, even when it feels painfully slow to you. My ways and my thoughts are higher than yours, just as the heavens are higher than the earth. You look at the broken pieces of your life, the failures, the detours, the things you call crooked sticks, and you see only wreckage. I see raw materials. I am the master of redemption. I can take the most broken, crooked things and use them to draw a perfectly straight line, to accomplish a purpose you could never have imagined. Do not despise the crooked sticks in your life. They are often the very instruments I use to display my power most brilliantly. Look for my hand at work. Start to notice the small things, the timely phone call, the right person at the right time, the unexpected provision. These are my fingerprints, my whispers that I am orchestrating everything. Trust the process. What the enemy intends for your evil, to discourage and destroy you, I can and I will turn for your good. Stop trying to figure everything out. It is not your burden to carry. Your job is simply to trust me with the next step on the path. I will take care of the destination. You are searching for your purpose. You feel a deep ache to know that your life matters, that you are here for a reason. You look at the lives of others, especially in this age of comparison, and you see them with big platforms, important sounding titles, and what appears to be a grand, world-changing purpose. And then you look at your own life. You see the monotony of your daily tasks, the laundry, the emails, the commute, the bills. You feel ordinary, small, and you wonder, is this all there is? Is there any eternal value in this? My child, you have been looking for your purpose in all the wrong places. You are looking for a title. I am looking for a faithful heart. You are looking for a stage. I am calling you to serve in secret. Your primary purpose in this life is not to achieve a certain status or to build something for your own name. Your first and greatest purpose is simply to know me, to love me, and to bring glory to my name right where you are. Your unique purpose is woven into this primary one. I have given you a specific set of gifts and talents, a unique personality, and a sphere of influence that no one else has. You are an instrument in my grand orchestra. A violin cannot do what a drum does, and the symphony would be incomplete without both. Stop comparing your instrument and your part to someone else's. If you are busy wishing you were the violin, you will miss your cue to play your beautiful, essential part as the drum. Your purpose is not hiding in some future, more glamorous life. It is right in front of you today. It is in the way you show patience to your child when you are exhausted. It is in the way you do your work with integrity when your boss isn't looking. It is in the encouraging word you speak to a struggling friend. These are not interruptions to your purpose. These small, Daily acts of obedience and love are your purpose. Do not despise the small things. It is in your faithfulness in the mundane that I am building a character worthy of my kingdom. Fulfill your purpose today. Love me. Love the people I have placed in your path. Use the gifts I have given you to serve them. That is a life that matters. That is a life that resounds with eternal significance. I am laying before you the very map of your life, the purpose behind your pain, and the promise that redeems it all. To stop listening now would be to cast aside the wisdom I long to give you. It would wound my heart to see you choose to wander in confusion when I am offering you the path home. You have just heard how your purpose is woven into my grand design, and if your heart now burns to be a part of this work in a greater way, then know I am calling you to sow into this mission of light. Your gift is not a transaction. It is a river of my living water, sent forth to reach parched souls I long to draw to myself. I am declaring over you now what my word promises. I who supply seed to the sower will multiply your seed sown and increase the harvest of your righteousness. This is not a mere request. It is a divine appointment for you to partner with me in carrying my voice to the ends of the earth. As you release this seed in faith, I will command a multiplied harvest back into your own life and protect what is yours. Act now. Click the super thanks. Join as a member, or use the link in the description to become a channel of my purpose in the world. Let's redefine worship together. You have come to equate it with music, with the 30 minutes of singing on a Sunday morning. And while that is a beautiful and powerful expression of worship, it is only a tiny fraction of what it truly is. You feel guilty when you don't feel it during the songs, when your mind is distracted by the worries of the week. You feel like a failure in worship. My beloved, this is because you have limited worship to a single activity. True worship is not an event you attend. It is the posture of your heart in everything you do. The most profound act of worship is to offer your body, your entire self, as a living sacrifice. What does this mean? It means you climb upon the altar each morning in an act of surrender and say, "My life is not my own today. My time, my energy, my plans, my resources, they are all yours. Use me for your purposes." Then you get off the altar and you live out that sacrifice in the real world. How you handle the frustrating driver in traffic, that is an act of worship. How you choose to respond with gentleness instead of anger to your spouse, that is a psalm of praise to me. How you conduct your business with honesty and integrity, that is a beautiful anthem that honors my name. A life overflowing with gratitude is a continuous act of worship. When you choose to thank me in all circumstances, you are declaring your trust in my sovereignty. Worship is the act that realigns your perspective. It is the deliberate recalibration of your heart, turning your focus from the overwhelming size of your problems to the infinite greatness of your God. It reminds your own soul who is truly in charge. I desire you to worship me in spirit, with a sincere heart, and in truth, according to the reality of who I am. So do not worry about the quality of your singing voice. I am not listening for musical perfection. I am listening to the melody of your obedience, the harmony of your trust, the rhythm of a life lived completely for me. Let your entire life, your work, your rest, your relationships, your private thoughts, become a symphony of praise to your Creator. That is the worship I seek. When my Son ascended into heaven, He made a promise. He said, "I will not leave you as orphans." You must understand the depth of this promise. I have not left you alone to navigate this confusing world with nothing but a rulebook and your own wavering willpower. You are trying so hard, my child, to be good, to be patient, to live a life that honors me, and you are exhausted from the effort. You keep failing, and you think the failure lies in your lack of discipline or commitment. The failure lies in thinking you must do this by yourself. I have sent you a comforter, an advocate, a guide, my very own spirit to dwell inside of you. This is the most incredible gift, yet one you so often forget to unwrap. You are not an orphan fending for yourself. You are a temple, a home for my presence. My power does not just surround you, it resides within you. Listen for his gentle nudges. He is the quiet voice of wisdom in the chaos of your decisions. That subtle check in your spirit just before you speak a harsh word, that is him, your counselor. That unexplainable urge to reach out to a friend who is hurting, even when you don't know why, that is him, your comforter. His guidance is not always a booming voice from heaven. More often, it is a quiet, persistent pressure on your heart, leading you toward truth, love, and life. You will know his presence by his fruit. Look at your life. Are you seeing more love, more joy, more peace, more patience, more kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? This is not the product of your striving. It is the evidence of his life growing within you. A healthy tree does not struggle to produce apples. It just does, because of the life flowing through it. When you stay connected to me, this beautiful fruit will grow naturally. Stop relying on your own strength. Your weakness is not a liability. It is the very place where my Spirit's power can be most perfectly displayed. When you are at the end of your rope, when you have no strength left, that is when you are in the perfect position to rely completely on His. It is His strength that will empower you to love the unlovable, to forgive the unforgivable, and to stand firm when you feel like collapsing. He has also given you gifts, specific abilities not for your own glory or enrichment, but to be used to build up and serve those around you. Stop trying so hard on your own, my beloved. Be still, surrender, and learn to lean on the infinite power that I have placed within you. Above all else, my child, guard your heart, for everything you do, everything you are, flows from it. Think of your heart as a garden, and your mind as the gate to that garden. You would not leave the gate of a precious garden wide open, allowing stray animals to wander in, eat the fruit, and trample the flowers. You would not let people dump their trash there. Why, then, are you so careless with the gates of your heart and mind? You allow the anxieties of the world, the envy sparked by social media, the poison of gossip, and the cynicism of the news to wander in freely, and then you wonder why the garden of your heart is filled with weeds of bitterness and fear instead of the fruit of my Spirit. You must become a vigilant gatekeeper. This is one of your most sacred responsibilities. You must be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not a passive process. It is an active battle. You must choose what you allow to take up residence in your thoughts. You cannot immerse yourself in the world's negativity, its greed, and its anger all day long, and then expect to feel my peace when you lay your head down at night. You must intentionally focus your mind on what is true, what is noble, what is right, what is pure, what is lovely, what is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. This is a command, a spiritual discipline. When a negative, fearful, or bitter thought enters your mind, you must take it captive. You must hold it up to the light of my truth and refuse to let it build a stronghold. That envy you feel when you see someone else's success, recognize it as a weed. Pull it up immediately by its roots by choosing to give thanks for what I have given you, and even choosing to pray a blessing over that other person. Do you see how this changes everything? You fill your heart and mind with my word. When your heart is full of my promises, there is less room for the enemy's lies. When an anxious thought spirals, you combat it by speaking my promise of peace. When a thought of worthlessness attacks, you counter it with the truth of your identity as my cherished child. Cast your anxieties on me, This is an active verb. Pick them up and intentionally hand them over to me in prayer. When you do, my peace, a peace that makes no logical sense in your circumstances, will stand guard over your heart and your mind. In the kingdom of this world, the goal is to climb higher, to be seen, to be first, to be the greatest. The world tells you to promote yourself, to fight for your rights, to make sure you get the credit you deserve. Now listen closely, for my kingdom operates on a completely different, upside-down economy. In my kingdom, the first shall be last, and the greatest of all is the one who becomes the servant of all. I am calling you to a life of humility, and this is a concept you have often misunderstood. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. You are a child of the King, and you should never grovel in false self-deprecation. Humility is thinking of yourself less. It is becoming so consumed with love for me and for the people around you that you simply forget to be preoccupied with your own status, your own reputation, and your own comfort. Pride is the native language of the fallen world. It is the root of so much strife and pain. It is the voice that whispers, "I know better. I deserve more. I am right." Pride precedes a fall because it is a delusion. It blinds you to your absolute and total dependence on me for every single breath you take. Every talent you possess, every success you achieve, every good thing in your life is a gift of my grace. To acknowledge this is not weakness. It is the very beginning of wisdom. I oppose the proud because a heart full of self cannot be filled with me. But I show favor and pour out unending grace upon the humble. So how do you walk in humility? You follow the example of my Son. He, who was King of all, knelt down and washed the dusty, dirty feet of his disciples. He took the lowest position. This is your model. Wash the feet of others through humble acts of service. Do the thankless job that no one else wants. Listen more than you speak. Be quick to admit when you are wrong and to ask for forgiveness. Celebrate the successes of others, even those you feel are in competition with you. When you choose the path of humility and service, you will discover a profound freedom and a deep joy that the proud can never know. You will find that in giving your life away, you truly find it. My child, you do not understand the power you wield every time you open your mouth. The tongue is a small thing, but it holds the power of life and death. With your words, you can build a person up, speaking encouragement and hope that can literally save their life. Or with your words, you can tear them down, inflicting wounds deeper and more lasting than any physical blow. Your words are not just empty sounds that vanish into the air. They are creative or destructive forces. They are seeds. You are constantly sowing seeds with your words. When you speak words of grace, patience, and love, you will eventually reap a harvest of peace in your life and relationships. When you sow seeds of gossip, slander, complaining, and criticism, you will inevitably reap a harvest of strife, bitterness, and division. You will eat the fruit of the words you plant. I call you to let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt. What does this mean? It means your words should be preserving, purifying, and adding flavor to the lives of those you speak to. Avoid gossip and slander as you would a deadly poison. When you are tempted to share a negative story about someone, even if it is true, you must stop. That piece of information you thought was harmless was a spark, and you do not know the forest fire of destruction it might start in someone's reputation or relationships. Learn to be a firefighter with your words, not an arsonist. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. You have seen this in your own home. You have the power to de-escalate a tense situation with a soft word, or to pour gasoline on the fire with a sarcastic, cutting remark. You must learn to speak the truth, but always, always in love. Truth without love is brutality, and love without truth is empty sentimentality. And you must know, you will be held accountable for every careless word you speak. This is not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the sacred weight and wonder of your words. Before you speak, pause. Ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Let silence be your frequent and holy response. And do not forget to speak life over yourself. Stop your self-deprecating jokes. You are my wonderfully made child. Speak that truth until your own heart believes it. I am entrusting you with the secrets of a transformed life, how to guard your heart, walk in humility, and find true strength. My deepest desire is to fully equip you for what lies ahead. It would be a profound sorrow for me to watch you walk into your battles only half-armored because you grew weary of my counsel. That fear you feel, that chronic, low-grade anxiety that has become your constant companion, it is not from me. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. Fear is a liar. It whispers to you about a terrible future that I have not ordained for you. It magnifies your weaknesses and minimizes my strength. It paralyzes you and keeps you from stepping into the purpose I have for you. You must see fear for what it is, an attack from the enemy. And you must learn to fight back. Do not be anxious about anything. This is a command, which means it is possible to obey. But in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. This is your battle plan. The moment you feel fear or anxiety rising, you are to immediately turn it into a prayer. Acknowledge the fear, but then give it to me, and crucially, thank me. Thank me that I am in control. Thank me that I love you. Thanksgiving breaks the power of anxiety because it shifts your focus from the perceived threat to the reality of my goodness. The ultimate antidote to fear is my perfect love for you. When you are rooted and grounded in the truth of how completely and unconditionally I love you, fear begins to lose its grip. Fear cannot coexist in a heart that is filled with my love. And you must understand what you are doing when you choose to worry. Worry is a form of faith. When you worry, you are placing your faith in the power of chaos, in the worst-case scenario, in the plans of the enemy. You are meditating on his lies. I am inviting you to place your faith in my power and my goodness instead. Meditate on my promises. When you feel afraid, call to mind the countless times I have been faithful to you in the past. Make a list. Remember the times I provided, the times I healed, the times I protected you. This history of my faithfulness is the evidence you need to trust me in your present and future. Your anxiety is screaming at you about tomorrow, but I am not in your tomorrow yet. I am with you right now, today. I have given you grace sufficient for this very moment. When tomorrow comes, my grace will be there to meet you. Do not borrow trouble from a future that is in my hands. Stay here with me, in the peace of this present moment. My child, I have saved you, redeemed you, and filled you with my spirit, not so that you could remain hidden. You are not meant to blend in with the world until you are indistinguishable from it. I have called you to be salt and to be light. Think about this. Salt is a preservative. In a world that is decaying under the weight of sin, cynicism, and despair, your very presence in a room, in an office, in a family, is meant to halt that decay. Your integrity can stop the spread of corruption. Your hope can put a stop to the advance of despair. Your refusal to participate in gossip can purify a conversation. Salt also creates thirst. The way you live your life, with a peace that defies your circumstances, with a joy that is not dependent on happiness, with a love that is unconditional, should make the people around you thirsty to know the source of your hope. You are also the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. A lamp is not lit only to be placed under a bowl. Its purpose is to shine, to chase away the darkness. You are terrified of this. You worry that if you shine my light, people will think you are strange, or judgmental, or foolish. You are so concerned with what to say, how to argue, how to convince them. But often, the most powerful sermon is the one you live. It is the light of your good deeds, the quiet act of service, the patient response, the honest business dealing. When people see these things, they will not ultimately glorify you. They will glorify me. You must learn to be in the world but not of it. This does not mean you are to withdraw into a holy bubble, separated from everyone who does not believe as you do. How can a lamp shine in the darkness if it remains only in a well-lit room? I am sending you into the world, into your workplace, your neighborhood, your city. But you are not to adopt the world's values, its methods, or its measures of success. You are to be a reflection of my values. While the world chases power, you will pursue service. While the world values profit above all, you will value people. While the world cancels those who disagree, you will show love and respect even to your enemies. This is how you engage the culture, not as a fearful critic shouting from a distance, but as a courageous agent of my redemption, walking into the broken places and carrying my light with you. Remember this always. Your life may be the only scripture some people will ever read. They may never open a Bible, they may never step foot in a church, but they are watching you. They are reading the pages of your life. Let them read a story of grace, of integrity, of hope, and of a love that points them directly back to me. We must talk about the things you possess, because your relationship with them is causing you great anxiety. I am talking about your money, your time, your talents, and your resources. You are holding onto them with a white-knuckled grip, living in a constant, low-grade fear of not having enough. Let me reframe your entire perspective. Nothing you have is actually yours. You are not an owner. You are a manager. You are a steward. Every good thing, from the money in your bank account to the very air in your lungs, is a gift that I have entrusted to your care for a season. When you see yourself as a manager and not an owner, it changes everything. It frees you from the anxiety of ownership, because the ultimate responsibility for provision is mine, not yours. Your responsibility is simply to be a faithful steward of what I have placed in your hands. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is not just a quaint saying. It is an unchangeable law of the human heart. If you want to know what you truly worship, look at your bank statement and your calendar. Those two documents are ruthless theologians. They will tell you the truth. Where you invest your time and your money is where your heart is. Are you storing up treasures on earth, things that will rust, decay, or be stolen? Or are you investing in what is eternal, in my kingdom, in the lives of other people? I am calling you to a life of radical generosity. This is not primarily because I need your money, but because you need to be free from the power of materialism. Generosity is the antidote to greed. It is the joyful release of what I have entrusted to you, an act of faith that declares you trust me to provide for all your needs. It breaks the grip that possessions have on your heart. This applies to your time and your talents as well. Are you hoarding them for your own comfort and benefit, or are you investing them in ways that serve others and bring glory to me? The world tells you that joy is found in possessing much. This is a lie. True, lasting joy is found not in how much you can accumulate, but in how faithfully you can steward what you have been given. Live with an open hand, my child. Trust that as you pour out, I will always pour in. You were not created to live this life of faith alone. A core part of my design for you involves connection with others who follow me. I know you have been hurt. The place that should have been the safest, my church, my family, has, at times, been the source of your deepest wounds. You have been judged, misunderstood, or let down by other believers, and the temptation is to retreat, to practice your faith in isolation. You say, I love you, God, but I'm not so sure about your people. My child, you cannot be in a right relationship with me, the head, if you intentionally disconnect yourself from my body. I have called you into a family, and families are messy. They are filled with imperfect people who will inevitably hurt one another. Just as you are imperfect, do not let a wound caused by one of my children cause you to forsake the entire family I have given you. Do not give up meeting together. You need the encouragement, the support, and the accountability of other believers. This is what it means to be my church, to bear one another's burdens. When you see your brother or sister struggling under a heavy weight, you are to come alongside them and help them carry it. This is how you fulfill the law of Christ. It means bringing a meal when they are sick, watching their children when they are overwhelmed, offering a listening ear when they are grieving, and speaking my truth when they are straying. Iron sharpens iron. This means that in authentic, honest relationships there will be friction. There will be sparks. You will rub each other the wrong way. But it is through that very process that you are both made sharper, stronger, and more like me. You must learn to rejoice with those who rejoice. When your brother or sister is blessed, you are to celebrate with them, casting aside all envy. And you must mourn with those who mourn, entering into their sorrow and weeping with them. This is the practical, everyday work of love. It is this deep, authentic, burden-bearing love for one another that will be the ultimate sign to a watching world that you are truly my disciples. They will not be convinced by your perfect theology or your impressive buildings. They will be convinced when they see your selfless love for each other. So press into the messiness of fellowship. Forgive. Joab. Be vulnerable. It is in this sacred bond that you will find a strength you could never find alone. Wake up, my child. You must understand that you are in a battle. Many of your struggles, the ones that you attribute to your own weakness or to other people, have roots in a spiritual reality. Your struggle is not ultimately against flesh and blood, not against your boss, your spouse, or that difficult family member. They are not your true enemy. Your battle is against spiritual forces of evil, against an enemy who is real and who despises you because you are made in my image and you belong to me. He is a liar and the father of lies. His primary weapon is deception. He is whispering to you right now. Lies about who you are, lies about who I am, lies that fill you with fear, shame, and division. You must learn to recognize his voice so you can stand against his schemes. Because you are in a battle, I have not left you defenseless. I have provided you with a full suit of armor, and you must intentionally put it on every single day. Would a soldier ever charge into enemy territory without his gear? Why then do you rush into your day spiritually unprotected? Gird your waist with a belt of truth, knowing and standing on what is real. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, living in the reality that you are made right with me through my Son. Shod your feet with the readiness of the gospel of peace, standing firm and stable. Above all, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one, those arrows of doubt, accusation, and fear. Take the helmet of salvation, protecting your mind with the unshakable assurance of who you are in me. And wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. This is your one offensive weapon. When the enemy attacks you with a lie, you must counter it by speaking my truth out loud. And you must pray. Prayer is the communication system of this spiritual battle. You fight from a position of victory. The decisive battle has already been won at the cross. My son disarmed the enemy and triumphed over him. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a place of established victory. So stand firm. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Do not be ignorant of his schemes, but do not be consumed by fear of him either. He is a defeated foe. Recognize the true battle, put on your armor, and stand your ground in the authority I have given you. Now that you understand the reality of the battle, will you leave my presence before I give you the ultimate promise of my unfailing presence within it? I have saved the most vital truths for this final moment. To turn away now would break your father's heart, for I long to see you walk in absolute victory, not abandon my words just before the dawn. You now understand the battle is real, but if your spirit rises up wanting to do more than just stand your ground, then I am calling you to arm others for this very fight. Your support becomes the sword of the Spirit in the hands of those still captive, breaking chains of darkness I long to see shattered. My promise to you is spoken for this moment. Give, and it will be given to you. Running over, it will be poured into your lap. This is a strategic advance in my kingdom, and I am appointing you as a provisioner for my army of light. For every seed you sow to break the enemy's hold, I will release a guard of angels around your own storehouse. Obey this prompting now. Use the super thanks, become a member, or go to the link in the description to fuel this chariot of fire. Listen to this promise. Let it sink deeper than all your fears, all your doubts, and all your feelings of loneliness. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. This is not a hopeful wish. It is the foundational reality of your life. There is nowhere you can go to escape my presence. If you ascend to the highest heavens, I am there. If you make your bed in the depths of despair, I am there. In your moments of greatest joy, I am the source of that joy, celebrating with you. In your seasons of deepest sorrow, I am the silent comfort, grieving with you. You feel alone, I know. Your feelings are powerful, and they tell you that I am distant, that you have been abandoned in your struggle. But your feelings are not the ultimate truth. My promise is the ultimate truth. You must choose to stand on the unshakable fact of my word rather than on the shifting sands of your emotions. My presence is your peace. It is your strength. It is your greatest comfort. The goal is not to try to pull me down from heaven, but to become aware of my presence that is already with you, right here, right now. You must practice this awareness. Talk to me as if I am sitting in the chair across from you, because in spirit, I am. Acknowledge me when you are in your car. I am your ever-present passenger. Invite me into your work, into your conversations, into your rest. This is how you move from intellectually knowing I am with you to experientially living in the reality of my companionship. Do not wait for a tingling sensation or a wave of emotion to prove that I am near. My presence is a settled promise, not a fickle feeling. There will be seasons of spiritual dryness when your prayers feel like they hit the ceiling and my voice seems silent. It is in those very moments that your faith is deepened, as you choose to trust my promise over your perception. Remember, nothing you can ever do will cause me to walk away from you. No sin is too great, no failure too deep, no darkness too encompassing to separate you from my love and my presence. I am with you. That is the greatest and most certain truth of your existence. Rest in it. My child, I want to talk to you about the space between your prayer and its answer. This space, this season of waiting, is where your faith is truly tested and where your character is deeply forged. I know how you struggle here. You live in a world that promises everything instantly. You could have food, information, and entertainment in a moment. And so, when you come to me with a desperate prayer for a relationship to be healed, for a financial provision, for a physical healing, and the answer does not come immediately, you begin to panic. Your patience wears thin. You see my silence as my absence, my delay as my denial. Your frantic striving begins. You try to fix it, to force the door open, to take matters into your own hands. This striving is not faith, my beloved. It is a loud declaration that you believe your timetable is superior to mine. I need you to learn one of the most difficult and most beautiful commands I will ever give you. Be still and know that I am God. Cease your striving. Let go. Unclench your fists. Acknowledge that I am sovereign, and you are not. My timing is always perfect. You see only a small piece of the puzzle. I see the entire, magnificent picture. You are in a hurry, but I am not. I am more concerned with your eternal character than your temporary comfort. Often, the work I am doing in you while you wait is far more important than the thing you are waiting for. Think of a precious fruit growing on a vine. It needs time in the sun to sweeten. If you pluck it too early, it will be sour and bitter. I will not give you a blessing before you are ready to receive it, nor before it is perfectly ripe. A delay is not a denial. Let that truth sink into your spirit. I am not withholding a good thing from you. I am preparing you for the blessing, and I am preparing the blessing for you. While you are waiting, I am working behind the scenes in ways you cannot possibly see. I am arranging circumstances, changing hearts, and aligning details. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time, you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. Your part is to continue to walk in faithfulness and obedience, trusting that I am at work. This is active waiting, not passive despair. Patience is a fruit of my spirit, and it grows only in the soil of waiting. Embrace this process. Trust me in the silence. My answer is on its way, and it will be more perfect and beautiful than anything you could have rushed into existence on your own. I want to reveal to you a key that has the power to unlock profound joy and peace in your life, even when your circumstances are difficult. It is the key of gratitude. Your natural, human tendency is to focus on what is wrong. Your mind will fixate on the one problem, the one unanswered prayer, the one difficult relationship, and you will allow that one thing to eclipse the 99 blessings that surround you. This habit of grumbling and complaining is more than just a negative attitude. It is a spiritual poison. Complaining is a declaration of distrust in me. It is the language of a heart that believes I am not good, that my provision is not enough, and that my plan is flawed. It creates a spirit of entitlement and self-pity, and it is a leaky bucket through which joy can never be contained. No matter how many blessings I pour into a complaining heart, it will always feel empty. I am calling you to a higher, more joyful way of life. In all circumstances, give thanks, for this is my will for you. Notice, I did not say you must be thankful for all circumstances. I am not asking you to be thankful for a tragedy, for pain, or for sin. I am asking you to be thankful in the midst of every circumstance. This is a powerful act of faith. It is looking at the storm and still choosing to thank me that I am in the boat with you. It is a sacrifice of thanksgiving, offered even when your heart is heavy. This practice of gratitude is a discipline. You must retrain your mind. I want you to begin and end every single day by counting your blessings. Do not be general. Be specific. Name them one by one. I thank you for the warmth of the sun this morning. I thank you for the taste of my coffee. I thank you for the difficult conversation that is helping me grow. I thank you for the strength to face this day. When you do this, something miraculous happens. Gratitude shifts your focus. It is a lens that does not change your circumstances, but it changes how you see them. It pulls your attention away from what you lack and fixes it on the abundance of my grace that is already yours. A thankful heart is a joyful heart. Gratitude breaks the power of envy, anxiety, and despair. And a grateful heart is an open heart, a wide vessel ready to receive even more of the goodness I long to pour into your life. I have called you to be holy because I, your God, am holy. When you hear that word, holy, your heart often sinks. It sounds like an impossible standard, a life of joyless, rigid rule following. You imagine that holiness means perfection, and because you know your own heart and your constant failings, you despair of ever achieving it. My child, you have misunderstood. This is the enemy's caricature of holiness, designed to keep you trapped in a cycle of sin and guilt. Let me show you the beauty and freedom of true holiness. Holiness is not first and foremost about a list of rules. It is about a relationship. It means to be set apart. Imagine a beautiful cup, chosen by a king to be used only for his own table. The cup is not inherently better than any other cup, but its purpose, its exclusive dedication to the king, is what makes it holy. I have chosen you. I have set you apart from the world to be exclusively mine. Holiness, then, is the beautiful process of living out that reality. It is a life lived in loving, faithful response to me. You cannot achieve this holiness on your own. Stop trying. Your best efforts, your most disciplined striving, will only lead to one of two places: pride when you succeed for a moment, or despair when you inevitably fail. Holiness is not the result of your work. It is the fruit of my Spirit's work within you. Your part is not to try harder, but to surrender more deeply. Your responsibility is to flee from sin and to pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace. You are to actively run from the things that pull your heart away from me, and to actively chase after the things that draw you closer. And when you fall, and you will fall, the path to holiness is not to hide in shame. Do not drag your sin into the darkness. It will only fester and grow there. The path is to immediately bring it into my light through honest confession. A broken and contrite heart I will not despise. The moment you confess, my grace is there to forgive you and to purify you. Do not see holiness as a burden I have placed upon you. See it as the path to your greatest freedom and your deepest joy, because it is a life lived in perfect alignment with how I, your loving Creator, design you to live. A holy life is the most powerful testimony you will ever have of my transforming power in a broken world. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You hear these words, but the troubles of this world are screaming so loudly. Your heart is troubled by your health, by the state of your family, by the chaos in the world, by the ever-present reality of death. The pain you are experiencing right now can feel so all-consuming that it is hard to see anything beyond it. My child, I need you to lift your eyes. I need you to anchor your heart in a hope that is bigger than your present suffering. This life, with all its beauty and all its pain, is a temporary assignment, is a short and fleeting preface to a glorious and eternal book. Your true citizenship is in heaven. You are living here as an ambassador, but this is not your final home. I am preparing a place for you, a home where every one of my promises will find its complete fulfillment. Living with this eternal perspective does not mean you should detach from this life with a morbid disinterest. On the contrary, it should empower you to engage with this life more fully and more fearlessly. When you know this is not the end of the story, you can hold the treasures of this world more loosely. You can forgive more freely. You can love more courageously. You can endure suffering with a hope that defies despair. The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in you. This is not a platitude to minimize your pain. It is a promise to contextualize it. One day, I will personally wipe every tear from your eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things will have passed away. Everything sad will come untrue. All that is broken will be made whole. This hope is not wishful thinking, like hoping for a sunny day. It is a confident expectation. It is a certainty that is anchored in the single most important event in human history, the resurrection of my Son. Because he was raised from the dead, you can be absolutely sure that death is not the end, but merely a doorway into a new and glorious beginning. Let this hope be the anchor for your soul, firm and secure, holding you steady through every storm this life may bring. I have laid before you the eternal hope that anchors your soul. All that remains is for me to seal our entire conversation with my unending covenant of grace and a final, personal blessing. My heart yearns to send you forth not just informed, but anointed. It would grieve my spirit if you left this holy ground before allowing me the joy of placing my name upon you for the journey ahead. Let us speak of the path back to me when you have strayed. This path is called repentance. It is a word you often associate with shame and groveling, but I want you to see it as a beautiful, life-giving gift. True repentance is not just feeling sorry that you got caught, or feeling sad about the painful consequences your sin has brought into your life. That is worldly sorrow, and it leads only to death. True repentance is a deep, heartfelt grief over the sin itself, because you realize it has broken fellowship with me, the one who loves you most. It is agreeing with me about your sin, calling it what I call it, without making excuses or shifting blame. But it does not stop there. The essence of repentance is a turning. Imagine you are walking down a road that is leading you away from me, into darkness and destruction. Repentance is the decisive, 180-degree turn to abandon that road and start walking back toward me, toward light and life. It is a change of mind that leads to a change of direction. You cannot do this on your own. It is my kindness, my patience, and my goodness that lead you to repentance in the first place. And it is my Spirit who empowers you to make the turn. Do not ever believe the lie that you have strayed too far, that you have sinned too much, that you could never be welcome back. That is impossible. My arms are always open, waiting for your return. The broken and contrite heart I will not despise. In fact, a heart that is humbled and broken over its sin is the one sacrifice I will never reject. It is the posture I can work with. Do not hide your sin. You may be able to conceal it from others, but you cannot hide it from me. And when you keep it in the darkness of secrecy, it festers like a splinter in your soul, causing a deep infection of guilt and shame. You must bring it into my light. Drag it out into the open through honest confession to me. The moment you do, the moment you expose it to my light, my power is released to heal it. My forgiveness washes over you, and the fellowship between us is instantly restored. Repentance is not a one-time event that happened when you first came to me. It is the daily posture of a humble heart, constantly recalibrating its course, turning away from its own will and turning back toward mine. Each day is a new opportunity to walk in the freedom and renewal that true repentance brings. My child, as we come to the heart of everything, I need you to understand the most pivotal truth of your existence. It is the truth of my grace and mercy. You live under a heavy, invisible burden, the burden of trying to be good enough. You strive, you work, you try to earn my approval, and you live in a constant state of exhaustion, always feeling like you are falling short. You look at your failures, your repeated sins, your weaknesses, and you fear that my patience with you is a finite resource, that one day you might use it all up. You are trying to earn something that is, by its very nature, a free and unearnable gift. It is like a drowning person trying to pay the lifeguard who is in the very act of saving them. I command you to stop striving. I command you to rest and simply receive the rescue I am offering you. This rescue is called grace. Let us be clear on our terms. Mercy is my not giving you the punishment you deserve for your sins. Every time you have turned from me, every selfish act, every harsh word, they all created a debt that you could never repay. Mercy is my choice to cancel that debt, to wipe the slate clean. It is the pardon of the King. But grace goes so much further. Grace is my giving you the immeasurable favor you do not deserve. Grace is the King not only pardoning the condemned criminal but adopting that criminal as his own beloved child, giving him a seat at the royal table, and making him an heir to the entire kingdom. This is what I have done for you. You are saved by grace, through faith. It is not your own doing. It is my gift to you, so that no one can ever boast. You woke up this morning, perhaps still feeling the weight and shame of yesterday's failures. But listen, my mercies are new every single morning. Great is my faithfulness. Yesterday's account has been settled, paid in full by the blood of my Son. Today is a fresh start, a clean slate, offered to you not because you deserve it, but because I love you. And here is a truth that can set you free from the tyranny of performance. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. You think your weakness disqualifies you from my love and my service. My child, your weakness is the entry requirement. My grace is not a reward for your strength. It is a powerful response to your need. Your weakness, your brokenness, the areas where you have no ability left, these are the very places where my strength, my grace, can be poured in and displayed most brilliantly for all to see. Do not treat this grace cheaply. It was purchased at the highest price. It is not a license to continue in sin. It is the divine empowerment to finally overcome sin. And know this, my beloved, this covenant of grace is unbreakable. Nothing, not your failures of today or your fears of tomorrow, not life, not death, not angels or demons, nothing in all creation will ever be able to separate you from my love, which is yours forever in Christ Jesus. My child, we have talked about many deep and wonderful things. Our conversation has journeyed through the valleys of your trials and to the mountaintops of your true identity. Do not be overwhelmed, and do not feel you must remember every single word perfectly. The enemy would love for you to feel burdened by what was meant to set you free. So let us bring it all down to this one simple, powerful truth that you must hide in your heart and never let go of. I am with you, and I am for you. Everything else flows from this. My voice, my power, my purpose, my love, it all exists for you, not against you. As you prepare to go from this quiet place of communion back into the noise and the demands of your day, know that I am not sending you out alone or empty-handed. I am sending you out with my blessing. This is not just a nice thought or a hopeful sentiment. It is a real spiritual covering, an impartation of my favor upon your life. So receive this blessing now, from my heart to yours. May I, the Lord, bless you with a clear sense of my love in every moment, and may I keep you, protecting you from the evil one, guarding your heart and mind, and holding you securely in the palm of my hand. May I, the Lord, make my face shine upon you, which means may you know, without a doubt, that I am smiling over you, that I take joy in who you are. And may I be gracious to you, pouring out my unearned, undeserved favor upon your relationships, your work, and your spirit. May I, the Lord, turn my face toward you, giving you my full, undivided attention, hearing your faintest cry, and seeing your deepest need. And may I give you my peace, a supernatural shalom, a wholeness and tranquility that surpasses all worldly understanding. Go now. Go forth and walk in this reality. Walk in the unconditional love I have lavished upon you. Walk in the unique purpose for which I have created you. Walk in the divine strength that my Spirit provides. And on those days when you feel you have failed, when you feel you have forgotten everything we have spoken of, when the darkness seems to be closing in, I want you to remember this one last thing, this final, crucial truth. I, your Father, your Creator, your Redeemer, and your God, I delight in you. Not because of your perfect performance, but simply because you are mine. You, my child, bring me joy. Now go and walk as the beloved child that you are. As my blessing settles upon you, I know the question of your heart is, how do I respond? If your spirit yearns to turn this moment of receiving into an act of worshipful giving, then I am inviting you to become the very channel of this blessing to others. Your seed of faith ensures that this message, my voice, reaches another lost soul, another broken heart waiting for the same peace you now feel. Hear my promise spoken directly to you. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. This is your first act of obedience after my anointing, a sacred opportunity to put your faith into immediate action. As you refresh others with your gift, I will pour out a double portion of refreshment upon you and your household. Seal your amen to my word with your action. Click Super Thanks, join the mission as a member, or use the PayPal link below this video now. My child, do not let this sacred moment dissolve back into the noise. If my words have pierced your heart, and you have truly heard my message, then I call you now to make your response an altar. Go to the space below and declare with unshakable faith, I am listening, Lord. Let this be more than a comment. Let it be a spiritual marker, a covenant between us that you will seek my voice above all others. Your declaration is an act of war against the silence and the chaos. I will see it, and I will honor the turning of your heart toward me. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.